with the sole motive to spread propaganda about India and its democratic institutions and values. Let's in fact go across to Samiksha, who's joining us from our Mumbai newsroom. Samiksha, give us more details about Anurag Thakur's scathing attack.
Well, Nupur, now the tweet that has been put out by Union Minister Anurag Thakur is in reply to an opinion piece that was published on the New York Times, which was titled "Modi's Final Assault on India's Press Freedom Has Begun." So, of course, this was an opinion piece that was published in the New York Times, to which Anurag Thakur has hit out at the Western media propaganda. Just to read out the tweet that has been put out by Anurag Thakur, who says the New York Times had long back dropped all pretensions of neutrality while publishing anything about India. NYT's so-called opinion piece on freedom of press in Kashmir is mischievous and fictitious, published by a sole motive to spread a propaganda about India. He goes on to say, democracy in India and we the people are very matured, and we do not need to learn grammar of democracy from such agenda-driven media. Blatant lies spread by NYT about press freedom in Kashmir is condemnable. Indians will not allow such mindset to run their divisive agenda on Indian soil. Now remember, of course, this is not the first time we are seeing articles such as these opinion pieces being published in newspapers, including the likes of New York Times. Not the first time, of course, and with this the Union Minister has hit out at the Western media propaganda, where there is a clear attempt to peddle that fake narrative about the country. This, of course, is in reference to this article that was published in the New York Times, which was titled as "Freedom of Press in Kashmir," in which you see how this narrative is being built, where voices are being muzzled in Pakistan, in Kashmir. The media is not allowed to function freely. So this, of course, is in reply to this opinion piece that was published as early as on 8th of March, titled "Modi's Final Assault on India's Press Freedom Has Begun." So, of course, Union Minister, they're hitting out at the Western media propaganda, which continues to peddle fake narrative, not just in Kashmir, but in several of the states in the country. Nupur.
All right. Also, Samiksha, what are the kind of reactions that we are getting to this? Now, apart from Anurag Thakur, any more reactions coming into this?
Well, Nupur, we are yet to get a reaction to this, but as you see, this tweet has just been put out. It's not been half an hour as well to this tweet that has been put out. Yet to get reactions, but this is a narrative that is being peddled in not just Western media limited to only the New York Times, but in several other opinion pieces of the Western media. The union government, they're hitting out at this fake narrative being built. Nupur.
All right, Samiksha, thank you very much for joining us. So as Samiksha is pointing out, this is a tweet that's come in from Anurag Thakur. Now, in his tweet, of course, Anurag Thakur has attacked the New York Times for publishing an opinion piece. He says that NYT's so-called opinion piece on press freedom in Kashmir is mischievous and fictitious, published with the sole motive of spreading propaganda about India and its democratic institutions. ED raids are currently underway in Harun Nagar area of Pulwama Sharif in Patna. Now, the raid is being conducted in a disproportionate assets case. However, so far, no information has been given by the ED officials on this raid. It is being conducted on Abu Dojana, who's considered to be a close aide of the RJD Supremo Lalu Yadav. He has been an MLA from the Sursand Sitamarhi area. It is also believed that Abu Dojana was looking after the work of Bihar's biggest mall that is being built in Saguna More in Patna. The mall is, of course, allegedly controlled by the Lalu family. However, there is a ban on construction work at the moment. So, ED raids are underway in the Harun Nagar area of Pulwama Sharif area of Patna. We are told that this is in a disproportionate assets case. The raids are being conducted against Abu Dojana, who is considered to be a close aide of Lalu Yadav, the former Chief Minister and Railway Minister of the country. He is, of course, his role in various corruption cases is being examined by various agencies. Now, the allegation, of course, against Abu Dojana is that he is essentially supposed to be very close to the RJD Supremo Lalu Prasad Yadav, when we are also learning that he essentially is the caretaker of the mall that is being built in a huge piece of land. Now, there have been several allegations that this land, of course, has been acquired from various people at suspect differential pricing by the Lalu Prasad Yadav's family. There are several allegations of corruption that Lalu Prasad and his family have faced over the years as he was Chief Minister of Bihar. The allegations, of course, are in various corruption cases. So more trouble for Lalu Prasad and his family. We are given to understand the ED is conducting raids on his close aide known as Abu Dojana. He is someone who is believed to be very, very close to RJD Supremo Lalu Prasad Yadav. Let's go across to Shavan San. He has more information on this. Good morning, Shavan. Tell us more, please.
Well, in fact, the full...
All right, so some audio trouble over there with our connection, but news just coming in. The ED is conducting raids against Lalu Prasad Yadav's close aide Abu Dojana. He is believed to be very close to the Yadav family, and we are given to understand that he is largely someone who looks after the construction at the mall, which has now, of course, been halted.
ये विषय प्रमुखता से छाया हुआ है। इस वर्ष का बजट भी विमेन लेड डेवलपमेंट के इन प्रयासों को नई गति देगा और इसमें आप सभी की बहुत बड़ी भूमिका है। मैं इस बजट वेबिनार में आप सभी का स्वागत करता हूं। साथियों, नारी शक्ति की संकल्प शक्ति, इच्छा शक्ति, उनकी कल्पना शक्ति, उनकी निर्णय शक्ति, त्वरित फैसले लेने का उनका सामर्थ्य, निर्धारित लक्ष्यों को प्राप्त करने के लिए उनकी तपस्या, उनके परिश्रम की पराकाष्ठा, ये हमारी मातृशक्ति की पहचान है। ये एक प्रतिबिंब है। जब हम विमेन लेड डेवलपमेंट कहते हैं तब उसका आधार यही शक्तियां हैं। मां भारती का उज्जवल भविष्य सुनिश्चित करने में नारी शक्ति का यह सामर्थ्य भारत की अनमोल शक्ति है। यही शक्ति समूह इस शताब्दी में भारत के स्केल और स्पीड को बढ़ाने में बहुत बड़ी भूमिका निभा रही है। साथियों, आज हम भारत के सामाजिक जीवन में बहुत बड़ा क्रांतिकारी परिवर्तन महसूस कर रहे हैं। पिछले कुछ वर्षों में भारत ने जिस प्रकार विमेन एम्पावरमेंट के लिए काम किया है, आज उसके परिणाम नजर आने लगे हैं। आज हम देख रहे हैं कि भारत में पुरुषों की तुलना में महिलाओं की संख्या बढ़ रही है। पिछले 9-10 वर्षों में हाई स्कूल या उसके आगे की पढ़ाई करने वाली लड़कियों की संख्या 3 गुना बढ़ी है। भारत में साइंस, टेक्नोलॉजी, इंजीनियरिंग और मैथ्स में लड़कियों का एनरोलमेंट आज 43% तक पहुंच चुका है और ये समृद्ध देश, विकसित देश अमेरिका हो, यूके हो, जर्मनी हो, इन सब से भी ज्यादा है। इसी तरह मेडिकल फील्ड हो या खेल का मैदान हो, बिजनेस हो या पॉलिटिकल एक्टिविटी हो, भारत में महिलाओं की केवल भागीदारी नहीं बढ़ी है, बल्कि वो हर क्षेत्र में आगे आकर नेतृत्व कर रही है। आज भारत में ऐसे अनेक क्षेत्र हैं जिनमें महिला शक्ति का सामर्थ्य नजर आता है। जिन करोड़ों लोगों को मुद्रा लोन दिए गए, उनमें से करीब 70% लाभार्थी देश की महिलाएं हैं। ये करोड़ों महिलाएं अपने परिवार की आय ही नहीं बढ़ा रही है, बल्कि अर्थव्यवस्था के नए आयाम भी खोल रही है। पीएम स्वनिधि योजना के माध्यम से बिना गारंटी आर्थिक मदद देना हो, पशुपालन को बढ़ावा देना हो, फिशरीज को बढ़ावा देना हो, ग्रामोद्योग को बढ़ावा देना हो, एफपीओज हो, खेलकूद स्पोर्ट्स हो, इन सभी को जो प्रोत्साहन दिया जा रहा है, उसका सर्वाधिक लाभ और अच्छे से अच्छे परिणाम महिलाओं के द्वारा आ रहे हैं। देश की आधी आबादी के सामर्थ्य से हम देश को कैसे आगे ले जाएं, हम नारी शक्ति के सामर्थ्य को कैसे बढ़ाएं, इसका प्रतिबिंब इस बजट में भी नजर आता है। महिला सम्मान सेविंग सर्टिफिकेट स्कीम, इसके तहत महिलाओं को 7.5% इंटरेस्ट रेट दिया जाएगा। इस बार के बजट में पीएम आवास योजना के लिए करीब 80,000 करोड़ रुपए रखे गए हैं। ये राशि देश की लाखों महिलाओं के लिए घर बनाने में काम आएगी। भारत में बीते वर्षों में पीएम आवास योजना के जो 3 करोड़ से अधिक घर बने हैं, उनमें से अधिकांश महिलाओं के ही नाम है। आप कल्पना कर सकते हैं, वो भी एक जमाना था जब महिलाओं के लिए न तो कभी खेत उनके नाम होते थे, न खलिहान उनके नाम होते थे, न दुकान होती थी, न घर होते थे। आज इस व्यवस्था से उन्हें कितना बड़ा सपोर्ट मिला है। पीएम आवास ने महिलाओं को घटते आर्थिक फैसलों में एक नई आवाज दी है। साथियों, इस बार के बजट में नए यूनिकॉर्न्स बनाने के लिए, अब हम स्टार्टअप की दुनिया में तो यूनिकॉर्न सुनते हैं, लेकिन क्या सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप में भी ये संभव है क्या? ये बजट उस सपने को पूरा करने के लिए सपोर्ट करने वाली घोषणा लेकर के आया है। देश के इस विजन में कितना स्कोप है, ये आप बीते वर्षों की ग्रोथ स्टोरी में देख सकते हैं। आज देश में 5 में से 1 नॉन फार्म बिजनेस महिलाएं संभाल रही हैं। बीते 9 वर्षों में 7 करोड़ से ज्यादा महिलाएं सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप में शामिल हुई हैं और वो अलग अलग क्षेत्रों में काम कर रही हैं। ये करोड़ों महिलाएं कितना वैल्यू क्रिएशन कर रही हैं, और इसका अंदाज आपको इनकी कैपिटल रिक्वायरमेंट से भी लगा सकते हैं। 9 वर्षों में इन सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप्स ने 6.25 लाख करोड़ रुपए का लोन लिया है। ये महिलाएं केवल छोटी एंटरप्रेन्योर ही नहीं है, बल्कि एक ग्राउंड पर सक्षम रिसोर्स पर्सन का काम भी कर रही है। बैंक सखी, कृषि सखी, पशु सखी के रूप में ये महिलाएं गांव में विकास के नए आयाम बना रही हैं। साथियों, सहकारिता क्षेत्र, उसमें भी महिलाओं की हमेशा बड़ी भूमिका रही है। आज कोऑपरेटिव सेक्टर में आमूलचूल बदलाव हो रहा है। आने वाले वर्षों में 2 लाख से ज्यादा मल्टीपर्पज कोऑपरेटिव, डेयरी कोऑपरेटिव और फिशरीज कोऑपरेटिव बनाए जाने वाले हैं। 1 करोड़ किसानों को नेचुरल फार्मिंग से, प्राकृतिक खेती से जोड़ने का लक्ष्य रखा गया है। इसमें महिला किसानों और प्रोड्यूसर ग्रुप्स की बड़ी भूमिका हो सकती है। इस समय देश ही नहीं, पूरी दुनिया में मिलेट्स यानी श्री अन्न को लेकर जागरूकता आ रही है, उनकी डिमांड बढ़ रही है। ये भारत के लिए एक बड़ा अवसर है। इसमें महिला सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप की भूमिका को और बढ़ाने के लिए आपको काम करना होगा। आपको एक और बात याद रखनी है, हमारे देश में 1 करोड़ आदिवासी महिलाएं सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप में काम करती हैं। उनके पास ट्राइबल क्षेत्रों में उगाए जाने वाले श्री अन्न का पारंपरिक अनुभव है। हमें श्री अन्न की मार्केटिंग से लेकर इनसे बने प्रोसेस फूड्स से जुड़े अवसरों को टैप करना होगा। कई जगहों पर माइनर फॉरेस्ट प्रोड्यूस को प्रोसेस करके मार्केट तक लाने में सरकारी संस्थाएं सहायता कर रही है। आज ऐसे कितने सारे सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप रिमोट इलाकों में बने हैं, हमें इसे और व्यापक स्तर पर लेकर जाना चाहिए। साथियों, ऐसे तमाम प्रयासों में युवाओं के, बेटियों के स्किल डेवलपमेंट की बहुत बड़ी भूमिका होगी। इसमें विश्वकर्मा योजना एक बड़े ब्रिज का काम करेगी। हमें विश्वकर्मा योजना में महिलाओं के लिए विशेष अवसरों को पहचान कर उन्हें आगे बढ़ाना होगा। जेम पोर्टल और ई कॉमर्स भी महिलाओं के व्यवसाय को विस्तार देने का बड़ा माध्यम बन रहे हैं। आज नई टेक्नोलॉजी का फायदा हर सेक्टर ले रहा है। हमें सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप्स को दी जाने वाले ट्रेनिंग में ज्यादा से ज्यादा नई टेक्नोलॉजी के प्रयोग पर बल देना चाहिए। साथियों, देश आज सबका साथ, सबका विकास, सबका विश्वास और सबका प्रयास की भावना के साथ आगे बढ़ रहा है। जब हमारी बेटियां सेना में जाकर देश की सुरक्षा करती दिखाई देती हैं, राफेल उड़ाती दिखाई देती हैं, तो उनसे जुड़ी सोच भी बदलती है। जब महिलाएं एंटरप्रेन्योर्स बनती हैं, फैसले लेती हैं, रिस्क लेती हैं, तो उनसे जुड़ी सोच भी बदलती है। अभी कुछ दिन पहले ही नागालैंड में पहली बार 2 महिलाएं विधायक बनी हैं, उनमें से एक को मंत्री भी बनाया गया है। महिलाओं का सम्मान बढ़ाकर, समानता का भाव बढ़ाकर ही भारत तेजी से आगे बढ़ सकता है। मैं आप सभी से आह्वान करूंगा, आप सभी महिलाओं, बहनों, बेटियों के सामने आने वाली हर रुकावट को दूर करने के संकल्प के साथ आगे बढ़े। साथियों, 8 मार्च को महिला दिवस राष्ट्रपति द्रौपदी मुर्मू जी ने महिला सशक्तिकरण, उस पर एक बहुत ही भावुक आर्टिकल लिखा है। इस लेख का अंत राष्ट्रपति मुर्मू जी ने जिस भावना से किया है वो सभी को समझनी चाहिए। मैं इस लेख से उन्हीं को कोट कर रहा हूं। उन्होंने कहा है, हम सबकी, बल्कि प्रत्येक व्यक्ति की ये जिम्मेदारी है कि इस प्रगति को तेज गति प्रदान की जाए। इसलिए आज मैं आप सबसे, प्रत्येक व्यक्ति से, अपने परिवार, आस पड़ोस अथवा कार्यस्थल में एक बदलाव लाने के लिए स्वयं को समर्पित करने का आग्रह करना चाहती हूं। ऐसा कोई भी बदलाव जो किसी बच्ची के चेहरे पर मुस्कान बिखेरे, ऐसा बदलाव जो उसके लिए जीवन में आगे बढ़ने के अवसरों में वृद्धि करे, आपसे मेरा यह अनुरोध हृदय की गहराइयों से निकला है। मैं राष्ट्रपति जी के इन्हीं शब्दों के साथ अपनी बात समाप्त करता हूं। आप सभी को बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं देता हूं। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
Up next, we get you the details of Kavitha's fast in the national capital today.
कहीं ना कहीं मार्शल आर्ट्स लड़ाई झगड़े खून खराबे से ज्यादा आई थिंक इट्स अबाउट हार्मनी ऑल्सो।
सर इट्स अ पर्सनालिटी डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम।
पूरा मार्शल आर्ट्स
बिल्कुल
जी।
आपकी फौज में भी यही है, डिसिप्लिन, माइंड, बॉडी एंड स्पिरिट इज इन कमांड ऑफ यू। आपके पास गन है बट आप किसी सिविलियन को गुस्सा आते गोली तो नहीं मार देते ना। यू हैव टू कंट्रोल दैट कंट्रोल कम्स फ्रॉम द माइंड एंड फ्रॉम द ट्रेनिंग। सो दैट जो आर्मी में हम बोलते हैं फोर्स कंटिन्यूम, किस फोर्स पे कितना फोर्स देना है, ये मेंटल कंट्रोल ट्रेनिंग से आता है, करेक्ट ट्रेनिंग से।
A serving soldier of the Indian Army has been murdered by a politician and the Latvian media is quiet about it. Not emphatically, not vocally, not till Republic named and shamed them about their silence over Lance Naik Prabhu's death. Look at this man. He's the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister, and as our reporter runs after him to ask him to say one thing, he says not one word. He just keeps running away from the Republic reporters.
All the 9 of the accused have been taken to custody. The primary accused, Chinnasamy, had been picked up by the CID and handed over to the Tamil Nadu cops.
आप इंडिया आते हैं एंड देन यू स्टार्ट स्पेशल फोर्सेस, NSG, गरुड़, मार्कोस। किस तरीके से ये सफर शुरू हुआ स्पेशल फोर्सेस को ट्रेन करने?
कर्नल साहब तो ही वाज एट दैट टाइम CEO of 6AR और पहली अपॉर्चुनिटी उन्होंने मुझे दी। अच्छा। टू ट्रेन हिज रेजिमेंट एंड ही आस्क्ड मी कि आप इनको नाइफ टू नाइफ कॉम्बैट में खुखरी ट्रेन करो। जब मैंने ADG इन्फेंट्री के सामने वो डेमो दिया और उनको वो बहुत अलग लिखा। एज लॉन्ग एज आवर सोल्जर्स आर सेफ,
Jantar Mantar right now showing you the visuals as BRS comments this hunger strike at Jantar Mantar, inviting all the opposition political parties to join their hunger strike. Now we are showing you the visuals of BRS MLC Kavitha, who is here in Delhi, organized hunger strike in demand 40 women reservation bill. Kavitha has been saying that in 2010 women reservation bill was passed by Rajya Sabha, but it is still pending in Lok Sabha, and it is very important to pass it in Lok Sabha. And they're also stating that without a gender quota, representation of women in law-making body will always remain marginal, which is very important that it should be increased. Therefore, right now we are showing you the visuals as on a stage right now you see the majority of female leaders, majority of female कार्यकर्ता Karyakartas from BRS. They are already invited 18 political parties, but Congress has decided to skip this hunger strike. We have got to know that SP, RLD, NC, PTP, Akali Dal, there are major political parties who are already joining this protest. Sitaram Yechuri from CPI will be reaching here shortly, as CPI and CPIM has also confirmed that they will be reaching this protest site. And right now we are showing you the visuals that the major demand is the women reservation bill. Already Kavitha told us that she also requested Mallikarjun Kharge to send any female representative from their party. But right now showing you the visuals, you are watching Republic TV. We have to slip into a short break, but on the other side of the break we'll show you all the visuals and breaking updates from the hunger strike of BRS MLC Kavitha from Jantar Mantar. Stay tuned with us.
Sir, are you appearing before the Lokayukta? Sir, where were you all these days? Sir, where were you all these days? Mr. Madal, where were you? This is Mr. Madal Virupakshapat. His followers are the ones who are in fact going on stating that he is a heart patient now, but all one needs to agree over here is that there are questions that are being asked, which he needs to go on and answer, because this man right here on our screens is tainted. His son is found with cash. He's caught red-handed, but there has been no sort of response.
कहीं ना कहीं मार्शल आर्ट्स लड़ाई झगड़े खून खराबे से ज्यादा आई थिंक इट्स अबाउट हार्मनी आल्सो.
सर, इट्स अ पर्सनालिटी डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम.
पूरा मार्शल आर्ट्स
बिल्कुल.
जी.
आपकी फौज में भी यही है. डिसिप्लिन, माइंड, बॉडी एंड स्पिरिट इज इन कमांड ऑफ यू. आपके पास गन है, बट आप किसी सिविलियन को गुस्सा आते गोली तो नहीं मार देते ना. यू हैव टू कंट्रोल दैट कंट्रोल कम्स फ्रॉम द माइंड एंड फ्रॉम द ट्रेनिंग. सो दैट जो आर्मी में हम बोलते हैं फोर्स कंटिन्यूम, किस फोर्स पे कितना फोर्स देना है, ये मेंटल कंट्रोल ट्रेनिंग से आता है, करेक्ट ट्रेनिंग से.
A serving soldier of the Indian Army has been murdered by a politician, and the Latvian media is quiet about it. Not emphatically, not vocally, not till Republic named and shamed them about their silence over Lance Naik Prabhu's death. Look at this man. He's the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister, and as our reporter runs after him to ask him to say one thing, he says not one word. He just keeps running away from the Republic reporters.
All the 9 of the accused have been taken to custody. The primary accused, Chinnasamy, had been picked up by the CID and handed over to the Tamil Nadu cops.
You're watching Live and Breaking on Republic. Well, BRS leader Kavitha is on a day-long hunger strike going across there to Jantar Mantar, where she's at. Joining me is my colleague Harsha. Harsha, over to you. Take our viewers through what's happening.
Exactly, right now showing you the visual straight from the Jantar Mantar, where BRS invited all the opposition parties to join the hunger strike of one day ahead of the demand of the women reservation bill in the law-making bodies. Now we are clearly seeing here that the NCP, the SP and RJD leaders are already here. They invited 18 political parties to join their hunger strike in the demand for the women reservation bill. And now what we are seeing is that Congress has decided to skip this hunger strike and this protest, as no representative from Congress will be joining this protest. And on your screen is Kavitha, BRS MLC. She is leading this entire protest. We can say that she is woman of the front in Delhi right now, in Jantar Mantar, leading this hunger strike. And we already happy seeing that there's a demand that the gender quota becomes very important, because right now the representation of women is marginal. What they are saying, making deficit in the democracy. Therefore, we are seeing that more and more women leaders are joining the protest right now. As we show you, many leaders are already here from the BRS, at the huge Karyakartas from BRS party could clearly be seen on stage demanding the women reservation reservation bill, and they are also stating that from March 13, which is the start of the second session of Parliament, they are stating that this time the bill should be taken up and all opposition parties should join hands in getting this women reservation bill, because they are stating that right now that it's only 14.93% of women representation in our Lok Sabha, and there are many states where it's only 8% of women representation. Now we are seeing that there are so many people who have joined the protest right now, and all the female कार्यकर्ता have come in. And ma'am, क्या
जो 33% रिजर्वेशन है वो महिलाओं को हम लोगों ने हमारे भारत जागृति ने जो राष्ट्र में दिया, सो अब ये केंद्र में होना बोल के हम लोग फाइट कर रहे हैं। बस वही हमारा इच्छा है, हमारा नेता का भी इच्छा है, वही है। खाली महिलाओं के लिए लड़ रहे हैं हम लोग। महिलाओं को 33% रिजर्वेशन आना ही चाहिए बस।
The Karyakartas over here of BRC have clearly saying that they need that 33% women reservation right now on podium, and the stage is Pooja Shukla from Samajwadi Party. She is now speaking from the dais, expressing her views on the women reservation bill. As we tell you that many states are already there where the women representation is very low. If we talk about Gujarat Assembly, there is only 8% of women representation. If we talk about Himachal Pradesh, there is only one woman in Himachal Pradesh legislature. So this is the demand of BRS K Kavitha, and there the slogans could be heard, the chants could be heard, as all the female Karyakartas and leaders of BRS have already joined this hunger strike, this protest at Jantar Mantar. Now what we are learning is that there are still the leaders from NC, from BJP, from Akali Dal, from RLD who are yet to come and join this protest, because till now what we are seeing on stage is NCP, Samajwadi Party and RJD leaders who have already reached the hunger strike area, and on the dais and on the stage now we can see that Sitaram Yechury have already reached here. One of the very important person from the left party, he is already here, and the request was made from the side of K Kavitha, and K Kavitha also met Sitaram Yechury last night at around 6 p.m. in the evening. She met Sitaram Yechury, personally invited him to join this hunger strike and the protest at Jantar Mantar. Now these are the visuals. We'll show you the Karyakartas as well, because a bus full of Karyakartas have already reached this Jantar Mantar hunger strike area. As we show you now they're already announcing that national anthem. It's time for national anthem, and after national anthem they will officially start their hunger strike program. As in front you see K Kavitha, Sitaram Yechury, Pooja Shukla, and right now as we see the visuals, national anthem has already started. So their demands for the women reservation bill, as they have invited many political leaders. Priyanka Chaturvedi was also personally invited by K Kavitha to join this hunger strike ahead of this women reservation bill demand, as they are already stating that in our democracy this is very important. Right now you are watching Republic TV. We have to slip into a short break. On the other side of the break we'll show you visuals from Jantar Mantar of the hunger strike. Slip into a
तब शुभ नामी जागे, तब शुभ गाहे, तब जय गाथा, जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता, जय जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे।
So right now we are showing you visuals from the Jantar Mantar, as already the women of BRS and the leading women of the BRS, which is MLC K Kavitha, has already reached her. She is sitting in between. She is sitting in front. Along with her is Sitaram Yechury and the other leader of opposition parties like RJD leader, Samajwadi Party leader, NCP leader Seema is already here, and the various Karyakartas of the of BRS could already be seen, and this is the demand for women reservation bill. They're already demanding that right now it's the time that women reservation bill should be implemented in Lok Sabha, because Kavitha has already been stating that in Rajya Sabha it was implemented in 2010 by the Congress government when it was in coalition. So why it is so hard for the centre government, who is right now in majority, to implement it in Lok Sabha? And they have been demanding this women reservation bill, and they are stating that right now it's important that the gender quota should be the part for the women reservation bill, because without it the representation of women in the lawmaking bodies will be marginal, and it is the deficit of the democracy. Therefore it is important. Right now we are showing you visuals at Sitaram Yechuri. Kavitha welcomes Sitaram Yechuri in this hunger strike. And it is a one-day hunger strike, as we are continuously telling you. And this is a one-day hunger strike which has been told that it will be from 10 a.m. in the morning till 4 p.m. in the evening. The permission has been given by the Delhi police officials, and Kavitha has been stating that she has already invited 18 political parties, but what we are learning is that 16 political parties will be here, will be joining the protest, hunger strike with BRS leader Kavitha, because Congress has already decided to skip this protest and hunger strike. And now the ideology of Congress with BRS, what we are learning is doesn't ally, because right now what we learned is that we several times asked this question with Kavitha also, that whether Priyanka Gandhi would be coming or not, as you were already praising Sonia Gandhi that she implemented women reservation bill in Rajya Sabha, but she had no answer to that, as she already stated that we have invited women from Congress. We have asked Mallikarjun Kharge to send a representative, but till now there have been no representation from the side of Congress. And what we are learning is that Congress has already told that they would be skipping this hunger protest. Again, visuals on your screen we are showing you before we were going to the stage, going to the dais. Before going to the stage, going to the dais, and now we are seeing that Kavitha has taken the mic and she will be addressing the entire crowd who have gathered here.
नमस्कारम। हमारा देश एक ऐसा देश है जहां पे हम माता पिता कहते हैं। पहले पंक्ति में पहला शब्द हम माता का लेते हैं, पिता का नहीं लेते हैं। तो हमारे संस्कृति में ये शामिल है कि हम माता पिता कहेंगे, राधे श्याम कहते हैं, सिया राम बढ़ाते हुए हमने बहुत क्षेत्रों में महिलाओं को आगे बढ़ाने का कोशिश किया है, लेकिन जिस तरीके से जिस रफ्तार से पूरी दुनिया डेवलप हो रही है, अगर उसी रफ्तार से हिंदुस्तान को भी डेवलप होना है, तो हिंदुस्तान में महिलाओं को राजनीतिक जिस रफ्तार से पूरी दुनिया डेवलप हो रही है, अगर उसी रफ्तार से हिंदुस्तान को भी डेवलप होना है, तो हिंदुस्तान में महिलाओं को राजनीतिक क्षेत्र में भी भागीदारी मिलनी चाहिए। और राजनीतिक क्षेत्र में भागीदारी मिलने के लिए महिला आरक्षण का बिल को लेके आना बहुत जरूरी है। महिला आरक्षण बिल 33% आरक्षण का बिल 27 साल से पेंडिंग में है। बहुत सारे महिलाओं ने, बहुत सारे राजनीतिक दलों ने महिलाओं के साथ खड़े होके कोशिश उन्होंने किया है कि हिंदुस्तान में एक चर्चा हो और आरक्षण भी मिले। मैं आज उन सारी महिलाओं को सलाम करना चाहती हूँ जिन्होंने भी कोशिश किया है महिला बिल लाने का। 1996 में जब पहले बार देवेगौड़ा जी ने महिला आरक्षण बिल इंट्रोड्यूस किया है, तो ये ऐसे ही नहीं हुआ है। उससे 10 साल से 15 साल से पहले बहुत सारे हमारे बहनें, उनका जो एजिटेशन था, उनका जो आंदोलन था, उसी के वजह से 1996 में बिल इंट्रोड्यूस करने का वो एक प्रयास हुआ था। और वो आंदोलन में मैं सारे उन महिलाओं को धन्यवाद देना चाहती हूँ, सैल्यूट करना चाहती हूँ, चाहे वो वृंदा कारक जी हो, चाहे वो सोनिया गांधी जी हो, चाहे वो जयंती नटराजन जी हो, चाहे वो सुषमा स्वराज जी हो, चाहे ये वुमेन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन जितने भी हैं, पाम राजपूत जी होने दो, इंदु अग्निहोत्री होने दो, बहुत सारे ऐसे महिलाएं हैं और बहुत सारे ऐसे अनगिनत महिलाएं हैं जिन्होंने आंदोलन किया है, उन्हीं की वजह से आज ये चर्चा है। मैं बहुत आज अपने आप को सम्मानित महसूस करती हूँ कि ऐसे एक मुद्दे को जो हमारी हिंदुस्तान की आधी आबादी को आगे ले जा सकती है, ऐसे मुद्दे को आगे ले जाने का अवसर आज मुझे मिला है। मैं अपने आप को बहुत सम्मानित महसूस करती हूँ और आज मैं हिंदुस्तान के सारे हमारे बहनों से वादा करती हूँ कि जब तक महिला आरक्षण का बिल नहीं आएगा तब तक ये हम पथ नहीं छोड़ेंगे, ये आंदोलन करते ही रहेंगे, आंदोलन चलाते ही रहेंगे, क्योंकि महिला आरक्षण से ही हिंदुस्तान का भला हो सकता है, हिंदुस्तान का डेमोक्रेसी का भला हो सकता है। और आज एक अच्छा अवसर है, एक हिस्टोरिक अवसर है जहां पे फुल मेजॉरिटी का सरकार है, तो हम इस मंच से इस भारतीय जनता पार्टी सरकार को हम डिमांड करते हैं कि महिला आरक्षण बिल आप इंट्रोड्यूस करें। हम सारे दलों को एक करने का कोशिश करेंगे, हिंदुस्तान के सारे महिलाएं एकजुट होने का कोशिश करेंगे और आपका पार्लियामेंट में भी मदद करने का कोशिश करेंगे। आज आप ये मंच पे देख रहे हैं, काफी पॉलिटिकल दलों से अपने रिप्रेजेंटेटिव्स यहाँ पे आए हैं। रेस्पेक्टेड श्री येचुरी जी आए हैं, उन्होंने ये पूरा अनशन का स्टार्ट किया है, इनॉग्रेशन किया है और हमारे एनसीपी के नेशनल स्पोक्स पर्सन यहाँ पे हैं, समाजवादी के पूजा शुक्ला जी है, किसान आंदोलन से भी है और बहुत सारे हमारे बीआरएस के महिला मंत्रीगण हैं, एमपीस हैं, उन सबको भी मैं प्रणाम करती हूँ। और पूरे दिन भर काफी सारे राजनीतिक दलों से बहुत सारे रिप्रेजेंटेटिव भी आएंगे, उन सबका भी मैं धन्यवाद करती हूँ। बस यही एक मुद्दा है जो हम महिलाओं को राजनीतिक स्थल में, क्षेत्र में आगे ले जा सकती है, तो हम इसके लिए पूरा कोशिश करेंगे और इस कोशिश में, इस आंदोलन में साथ देने के लिए आप सबका शुक्रिया अदा करती हूँ। आज हमें यहाँ 10 बजे से लेकर 4 बजे तक का समय मिला है, तो हम लोग अनशन पे बैठे हैं और ये बस शुरुआत ही है, यहाँ से लेके आगे चल के पूरा देश भर में आंदोलन चलाते रहेंगे। जब तक महिला आरक्षण बिल नहीं आएगा तब तक हम पीछे नहीं हटेंगे। थैंक यू सो मच। जय भारत। तेलुगु में मैं एक लाइन आपको बताना चाहती हूँ। तेलुगु में हमेशा बोलते हैं ధరణిలో సగం ఆకాశంలో సగం అందుకే అవకాశంలో కూడా సగం కావాలని చెప్తాం। धरती में हम आधे हैं, आसमान में आधे हैं, इसीलिए अवसर में भी हमें आधे मिलना चाहिए। ये नारा के साथ हम आगे बढ़ेंगे और हमारे हक पाके रखेंगे। थैंक यू। जय भारत।
आज ऐसे ही महान शक्ति।
So right now you heard Kavitha. She was continuously stating that how important the women reservation bill is, and she was been stating that under the aegis of Bharat Jagruti, an NGO which has been demanding women reservation bill, this entire hunger strike and the protest have been organized at Jantar Mantar, which is from 10 a.m. till 4 p.m. Continuously showing you the visuals on the screen as we see that the opposition leaders have already started arriving here at Jantar Mantar. As we see Sitaram Yechuri, as we see NCP leader, RJD leader and Samajwadi Party Pooja Shukla as well, who is here at the stage joining the protest and the hunger strike with BRS MLC Kavitha. And right now on stage and Sitaram Yechuri is addressing the entire crowd just gathered here. We also see the placards over here which is clearly stating I support women reservation bill, and they're also stating that right now the government is in majority which is in the center, and therefore it becomes more important to implement this women reservation bill in the parliament because it has already been implemented and passed in the Rajya Sabha in 2010. Now it becomes important to implement it in Lok Sabha, and now Sitaram Yechuri is speaking right now and addressing the entire crowd which is gathered here representing the Communist Party.
और ये हमारा वादा है, हमारा संकल्प, क्योंकि हम मानते हैं कि कई सारे मतलब इसके अंदर कोई विश्लेषण करने की जरूरत नहीं है। आज अफसोस की बात यह है कि तकरीबन 3 दशक हो गए चर्चा हो रही है महिला आरक्षण के बारे में। सामाजिक, आर्थिक और राजनीतिक जब तक बराबरी महिलाओं को दी नहीं जाएगी किसी भी मुल्क का विकास हुआ नहीं ना होगा। और महिलाओं को आरक्षण देने का मतलब ये नहीं है कि उनको कोई सिर्फ रिप्रेजेंटेशन दे रहे हो आप, लेकिन उनकी भागीदारी चाहिए। जब तक महिलाओं की भागीदारी पूरी तरीके से नहीं होगी, किसी समाज का, किसी अर्थव्यवस्था का विकास कभी हुआ नहीं, किसी देश में ना हो पाएगा। और यही सोच करते हुए ये आरक्षण बिल बहुत झगड़े के बाद, झगड़ा माने संघर्ष के बाद, बहुत संघर्ष के बाद ये आरक्षण बिल लाया गया था। एक बार उसको पारित किया था हम लोगों ने, जब हम भी थे राज्यसभा में, और उसको पारित किया था आज ही रात के 12 बजे तक वो बहस चलती रही राज्यसभा के अंदर, और राज्यसभा के अंदर मार्शल्स को लागू ले आना पड़ा ताकि वोट हुआ, पारित हुआ। लोकसभा में जाना था, वहाँ पे अगर पारित होता तो ये कानून बन जाता, लेकिन तब तक चुनाव आगे, लोकसभा भंग हो गई, तो वही के वही पर वो बात रहेगी। आज जरूरी है इसको इस सदन में ले आने की।
So right now you are watching Republic TV. It's time to slip into a short break. As on the other side of the break, we'll show you more visuals from Jantar Mantar hunger strike of BRS MLC Kavitha. Right now it's time for a short break. Stay tuned as we'll be live and breaking back after the short break.
आप इंडिया आते हैं एंड देन यू स्टार्ट स्पेशल फोर्सेस, NSG, गरुड़, मार्कोस। किस तरीके से ये सफर शुरू हुआ स्पेशल फोर्सेस को ट्रेन करने?
कर्नल साहब, तो ही वाज एट दैट टाइम CEO of 6AR, और पहली अपॉर्चुनिटी उन्होंने मुझे दी। अच्छा। टू ट्रेन हिज रेजिमेंट, एंड ही आस्क्ड मी कि आप उनको नाइफ टू नाइफ कॉम्बैट में खुकरी ट्रेन करो। जब मैंने ADG इन्फेंट्री के सामने वो डेमो दिया और उनको वो बहुत अलग लिखा, एज लॉन्ग एज आवर सोल्जर्स आर सेफ, दे गेट द बेस्ट, आई हैव नो प्रॉब्लम।
Sir, are you appearing before the Lokayukta? Sir, where were you all these days? Sir, where were you all these days? Mr. Madal, where were you? This is Mr. Madal Virupakshapat. His followers are the ones who are in fact going on stating that he is a heart patient now, but all one needs to agree over here is that there are questions that are being asked, which he needs to go on and answer, because this man right here on our screens is tainted. His son is found with cash. He's caught red-handed, but there has been no sort of response.
कहीं ना कहीं मार्शल आर्ट्स लड़ाई झगड़े खून खराबे से ज्यादा, आई थिंक इट्स अबाउट हार्मनी ऑल्सो।
सर, इट्स अ पर्सनैलिटी डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम,
पूरा मार्शल आर्ट्स।
बिल्कुल जी। आपकी फौज में भी यही है, डिसिप्लिन, माइंड, बॉडी एंड स्पिरिट इज इन कमांड ऑफ यू। आपके पास गन है, बट आप किसी सिविलियन को गुस्सा आते गोली तो नहीं मार देते ना। यू हैव टू कंट्रोल दैट कंट्रोल कम्स फ्रॉम द माइंड एंड फ्रॉम द ट्रेनिंग। सो दैट जो आर्मी में हम बोलते हैं फोर्स कंटिन्यूम, किस फोर्स पे कितना फोर्स देना है, ये मेंटल कंट्रोल ट्रेनिंग से आता है, करेक्ट ट्रेनिंग से।
A serving soldier of the Indian Army has been murdered by a politician, and the Latvian media is quiet about it. Not emphatically, not vocally, not till Republic named and shamed them about their silence over Lance Naik.
कहीं ना कहीं मार्शल आर्ट्स लड़ाई झगड़े खून खराबे से ज्यादा, आई थिंक इट्स अबाउट हार्मनी ऑल्सो।
सर, इट्स अ पर्सनैलिटी डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम,
पूरा मार्शल आर्ट्स।
बिल्कुल जी। आपकी फौज में भी यही है, डिसिप्लिन, माइंड, बॉडी एंड स्पिरिट इज इन कमांड ऑफ यू। आपके पास गन है, बट आप किसी सिविलियन को गुस्सा आते गोली तो नहीं मार देते ना। यू हैव टू कंट्रोल दैट कंट्रोल कम्स फ्रॉम द माइंड एंड फ्रॉम द ट्रेनिंग। सो दैट जो आर्मी में हम बोलते हैं फोर्स कंटिन्यूम, किस फोर्स पे कितना फोर्स देना है, ये मेंटल कंट्रोल ट्रेनिंग से आता है, करेक्ट ट्रेनिंग से।
In top stories that we're tracking, all the 3 widows of the Pulwama martyrs, along with their family members who were protesting against the apathy of the Gehlot government in Rajasthan, detained by the police at 3 a.m. However, it has not been told in which it is not clear where they have been lodged. In a veiled attack at Congress MP Rahul Gandhi, who recently insulted India on foreign soil at Cambridge University in the UK, Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar said, while India is having its moment of glory with the G20 presidency, some parliamentarians are engaged in the thoughtless, unfair denigration of our well-nurtured democratic values. A day before Sisodia's bail application was to come up for hearing in the CBI case against him, the Enforcement Directorate yesterday arrested the ARP leader under provisions of the PMLA. The ED investigators are expected to obtain a production warrant from a special PMLA court and then produce him before it today to seek his custody for further interrogation. Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese in Delhi for discussions on taking forward the comprehensive strategic partnership between the two countries. He receives ceremonial welcome at Rashtrapati Bhavan in New Delhi, will later hold the annual summit. Australian Prime Minister meets Prime Minister Modi in India. Fresh provocation by pro-Khalistani groups in Brisbane. In the latest, Khalistani flags are unfurled at Mahatma Gandhi's statue in Brisbane. The group even raised pro-Khalistani slogans at Rome Parkland in Brisbane. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar meets with US Secretary of Commerce Gina Raimondo. Agreed to launch India-US Strategic Trade Dialogue led by Foreign Secretary from the Ministry of External Affairs of India and Under Secretary Bureau of Industry and Security in US Department of Commerce.
जहाँ पे महिलाओं को
So you are watching Republic TV. We are showing you live breaking and visuals from the Jantar Mantar where the hunger strike, which is being led by PRS MLC Kavitha, has already started, in which 16 political parties are now participating as Congress has decided to skip this entire hunger strike protest. We have to slip into a short break, but on the other side of the break, we'll show you more visuals and what exactly Kavitha and Sitaram Yechuri have addressed the entire crowd gathered here. Stay tuned with us. We'll be right back after a short break.
आप इंडिया आते हैं एंड देन यू स्टार्ट स्पेशल फोर्सेस, एनएसजी, गरुड़, मार्कोस, किस तरीके से ये सफर शुरू हुआ स्पेशल फोर्सेस को ट्रेन करने?
कर्नल साहब, तो ही वाज एट दैट टाइम सीओ ऑफ 6AR और पहली अपॉर्चुनिटी उन्होंने मुझे दी, अच्छा, टू ट्रेन हिज रेजिमेंट एंड ही आस्क्ड मी कि आप इनको नाइफ टू नाइफ कॉम्बैट में खुकरी ट्रेन करो. जब मैंने एडीजी इन्फेंट्री के सामने वो डेमो दिया और उनको वो बहुत अलग लिखा, एज लॉन्ग एज आवर सोल्जर्स आर सेफ, दे गेट द बेस्ट, आई हैव नो प्रॉब्लम.
Sir, are you appearing before the Lokayukta? Sir, where were you all these days? Sir, where were you all these days? Mr. Madal, where were you? This is Mr. Madal Virupakshapat. His followers are the ones who are in fact going on stating that he is a heart patient now, but all one needs to agree over here is that there are questions that are being asked, which he needs to go on and answer, because this man right here on our screens is tainted. His son is found with cash. He's caught red-handed, but there has been no sort of response.
कहीं ना कहीं मार्शल आर्ट्स लड़ाई झगड़े खून खराबे से ज्यादा आई थिंक इट्स अबाउट हार्मनी आल्सो.
सर, इट्स अ पर्सनालिटी डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम.
पूरा मार्शल आर्ट्स
बिल्कुल जी. आपकी फौज में भी यही है, डिसिप्लिन, माइंड, बॉडी एंड स्पिरिट इज इन कमांड ऑफ यू. आपके पास गन है बट आप किसी सिविलियन को गुस्सा आते गोली तो नहीं मार देते ना. यू हैव टू कंट्रोल दैट कंट्रोल कम्स फ्रॉम द माइंड एंड फ्रॉम द ट्रेनिंग. सो दैट जो आर्मी में हम बोलते हैं फोर्स कंटिन्यूम, किस फोर्स पे कितना फोर्स देना है, ये मेंटल कंट्रोल ट्रेनिंग से आता है, करेक्ट ट्रेनिंग से.
politician, and the Lutyens media is quiet about it. Not emphatically, not vocally, not till Republic named and shamed them about their silence over Lance Naik Prabhu's death. Look at this man. He's the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister, and as our reporter runs after him to ask him to say one thing, he says not one word. He just keeps running away from the Republic reporters.
All the 9 of the accused have been taken to custody. The primary accused, Chinnasamy, had been picked up by the CID and handed over to the Tamil Nadu cops.
आप इंडिया आते हैं एंड देन यू स्टार्ट स्पेशल फोर्सेस, एनएसजी, गरुड़, मार्कोस, किस तरीके से ये सफर शुरू हुआ स्पेशल फोर्सेस को ट्रेन करने?
कर्नल साहब, तो ही वाज एट दैट टाइम सीओ ऑफ 6AR और पहली अपॉर्चुनिटी उन्होंने मुझे दी
अच्छा
टू ट्रेन हिज रेजिमेंट एंड ही आस्क्ड मी कि आप इनको नाइफ टू नाइफ कॉम्बैट में खुकरी ट्रेन करो। जब मैंने एडीजी इन्फेंट्री के सामने वो डेमो दिया और उनको वो बहुत अलग लिखा, एज लॉन्ग एज आवर सोल्जर्स आर सेफ, दे गेट द बेस्ट, आई हैव नो प्रॉब्लम।
Sir, are you appearing before the Lokayukta? Sir, where were you all these days? Sir, where were you all these days? Mr. Madal, where were you? This is Mr. Madal Virupakshapat. His followers are the ones who are in fact going on stating that he is a heart patient now, but all one needs to agree over here is that there are questions that are being asked, which he needs to go on and answer, because this man right here on our screens is tainted. His son is found with cash. He's caught red-handed, but there has been no sort of response.
कहीं ना कहीं मार्शल आर्ट्स लड़ाई झगड़े खून खराबे से ज्यादा आई थिंक इट्स अबाउट हार्मनी आल्सो।
सर, इट्स अ पर्सनालिटी डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम।
पूरा मार्शल आर्ट्स
बिल्कुल
जी।
आपकी फौज में भी यही है, डिसिप्लिन, माइंड, बॉडी एंड स्पिरिट इज इन कमांड ऑफ यू। आपके पास गन है, बट आप किसी सिविलियन को गुस्सा आते गोली तो नहीं मार देते ना। यू हैव टू कंट्रोल दैट कंट्रोल कम्स फ्रॉम द माइंड एंड फ्रॉम द ट्रेनिंग। सो दैट जो आर्मी में हम बोलते हैं फोर्स कंटिन्यूम, किस फोर्स पे कितना फोर्स देना है, ये मेंटल कंट्रोल ट्रेनिंग से आता है, करेक्ट ट्रेनिंग से।
A serving soldier of the Indian Army has been murdered by a politician, and the Lutyens media is quiet about it. Not emphatically, not vocally, not till Republic named and shamed them about their silence over Lance Naik Prabhu's death. Look at this man. He's the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister, and as our reporter runs after him to ask him to say one thing, he says not one word. He just keeps running away from the Republic reporters.
All the 9 of the accused have been taken to custody. The primary accused, Chinnasamy, had been picked up by the CID and handed over to the Tamil Nadu cops.
आप इंडिया आते हैं एंड देन यू स्टार्ट स्पेशल फोर्सेस, एनएसजी, गरुड़, मार्कोस, किस तरीके से ये सफर शुरू हुआ स्पेशल फोर्सेस को ट्रेन करने?
कर्नल साहब, तो ही वाज एट दैट टाइम सीओ ऑफ 6AR और पहली अपॉर्चुनिटी उन्होंने मुझे दी।
Thanks
Thanks for tuning in this Friday morning. We are live and breaking. I'm Samiksha Srivastava, tracking the big story coming in from Patna, where another RJD leader is under the scanner of the Enforcement Directorate. First up, the top headlines this Friday morning. Big stir over women's reservation bill. 18 opposition parties join Kavitha's hunger strike. Congress skips the hunger strike. Trouble mounts for Kejriwal's deputy. ED seeks 10-day remand. Sisodia to be produced in court at 2 p.m. Government exposes Western media propaganda, says New York Times, peddling lies against Modi government. Gehlot's corpse hit a new low. Widows of Pulwama martyrs demand compensation, who are now detained by the Rajasthan police. ED news tightens in Latin for job scam after Lalu Yadav's interrogation. Close aide now raided. Australian Prime Minister gets a grand ceremonial welcome at Rashtrapati Bhavan, hails India-Australia ties. Alright, we begin with the news break coming in on the land for job scam. The Enforcement Directorate is carrying out searches at 15 locations across the country. In the cities where the raids are being carried out include Mumbai, Patna, as well as in the national capital. This of course comes after a close aide of Lalu Prasad Yadav, Abu Dojana, who's being raided by the Enforcement Directorate at his Patna residence. It's being said that Abu Dojana was looking after the work of Bihar's biggest mall being built in Patna, and the mall was said to belong to Lalu Prasad Yadav's family. However, there is a ban on construction work at present. The visuals there on your screens of the ED raids which are being carried out in several locations across the country. Now, in the cities which are being raided by the ED presently include Mumbai, Patna, and even in the national capital. 15 locations we understand are being raided by the Enforcement Directorate. The raids we understand are in connection with the land for job scam. A close aide of Lalu Prasad Yadav, Abu Dojani, who's under the scanner of the Enforcement Directorate, his residence is being raided by the Enforcement Directorate in Patna. Alright, we'll try and go across to Prakash as well to get us the latest, but remember this is in connection with the land for job scam. Just a short, in fact, a few days back, the CBI had also recorded the statement of Rabri Devi in this case, while the Enforcement Directorate is currently carrying out searches. Let's go across to Prakash. Prakash, if you could give us more details on this close aide of Lalu Prasad Yadav, whose residence is currently being raided by the ED.
Hello?
Yes, Prakash, we can hear you. Yes.
Yes, the ED team is conducting raids and interrogation at the premises of Abu Dojana, the former RJD MLA in Bihar. His various premises is being raided. Now, his involvement is that in the IRCTC scam, the land for hotel scam, in which he was constructing the biggest mall of India, the biggest mall of Bihar, at the premises of Lalu Yadav, which has been confiscated by the ED, income tax, as well as the CBI. Now, as far as the papers are concerned, the Abu Dojana's involvement is that he was said to be constructing and starting the process of construction of the mall in that particular area. And other malpractices, that's what the ED is trying to investigate upon, whether there are any transfer of money through Hawala or not. That the ED is trying to ascertain as to what is his involvement. Because as far as the land for job or land for hotel scam is concerned, it is from the period between 2004 to 2009 when Lalu Yadav was a railway minister. And at that time, Abu Dojana had no links with Lalu Yadav. Abu Dojana came into contact with Lalu Yadav after 2013-14, and he was an MLA from the RJD.
Yes, Prakash, in fact, requesting you to stay with us. Let's go across to Bihar BJP leader Nikhil Anand, who's joining us. Your quick thoughts on the searches being carried out. How deep do you think does this rot run when we talk about the land for job scam, in which we're now given to understand that one of close aides of Lalu Prasad Yadav is being raided by the ED?
See, this matter of land for job scam is being investigated by the CBI under the purview of both. And whosoever having links in the case is, of course, they are being raided, their premises are being raided, they are being interrogated. But the surprising thing is that the opposition and the RJD wants to come clean by making an allegation against the independent agencies, against the central government and the central government agencies. So my question is that when the issue of this land for job case, this was unearthed by the JDU leader, the then JDU state president Lalan Singh, and Shivanand Tiwari, the then national general secretary of JDU. And after that, from 2009 to 2014, it was the Congress government. When the case was filed, the investigation started. But they are making hue and cry against the central government, Narendra Modi ji. Just they are playing petty politics. They don't have little, they are not at all even apologetic for what they did during the time of governance. They should have presented a big model of development. But what they did, they are basically corrupt politicians, and they have collected huge wealth, land, and it is a scam.
Yes, and Mr. Anand, that's precisely my question. Why do you think that when Lalu Prasad Yadav was a Union Railways minister, the family got away with the fact that they purchased a land which was valued at crores and crores of rupees, valued at more than 4 crore rupees. It was purchased at only 2 to 4 lakh rupees at that particular time when Lalu Prasad Yadav was the Union Railways minister.
During his tenure as a railway minister, many things took place, and slowly all things are being investigated and they are being exposed. What happened during their they were in power from 1990 to 2005. They did the same thing. Even in RJD, people are getting tickets at the cost of money. It is not basically a democratic party. It is a family party. The future leader is fixed. The sons and daughters of Lalu Prasad Yadav is going to be the future leader. It is a party which has a family interest. There is no democracy in RJD. So just this party is functioning, creating an aura of ideology, secularism and social justice. They are serving and fulfilling the purpose of their family. It is a family interest party. And people of Bihar and this country are not going to benefit by these kind of parties.
Yes.
Like RJD, which is a family party, and JDU, which is a pocket party of Nitish Kumar.
Well, that's right. And Mr. Anand, it seems that it's only the tip of the iceberg when we see the number of people who are by the day coming under the scanner of the ED. Of course, in the latest, Lalu Prasad Yadav's aide, who's currently being raided by the Enforcement Directorate. Moving on then, a day after the Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese went on board the indigenous INS Vikrant and even received a guard of honor by the Indian Navy in Mumbai, INS Vikrant is on a maiden visit to Mumbai. Here's a Republic exclusive report from on board INS Vikrant.
Republic is the only channel on board INS Vikrant, which is India's indigenous aircraft carrier, and this is the first time where INS Vikrant has reached Mumbai from Kochi. We have been reporting on board, and this is coming right after the Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese on Thursday, who embarked on India's indigenous aircraft carrier INS Vikrant, and Albanese, who was received on board Vikrant by Chief of Naval Staff Admiral R. Hari Kumar with a guard of honor. Carrier INS Vikrant, which is the pride of India, is been serving since years, and even we know that INS Vikrant, which has really played a vital role in 1971, but where it was before, earlier it was decommissioned in 2016, but last year, that is on 2nd September 2022, where the Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the first made in India aircraft carrier INS Vikrant, carrying it a historic occasion and an exceptional symbol of a self-relevant India. It's very honor for us, as we can see the Australian Prime Minister who was here on board yesterday, and also it is an invite from the Australia as well, because the next program that is going to be happening in Australia is something has been invited to Indian Navy.
Ma'am, as of now, we don't have the exact details of the same, ma'am. However, it was a prestigious event for us, one of a kind event wherein a Prime Minister of a foreign nation has visited us, and we hosted them well, ma'am, and they had a long time here. They saw the deck and the facilities on board, and they saw the indigenous aircraft LCA Tejas and interacted with our crew and men. So all in all, it was a learning experience for us, an exposure for us, and a prestigious event, as I said.
Right, tracking the latest in the liquor scam, latest of course coming in that the ED has sought a 10-day remand of the former Delhi Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia, who is lodged in the Tihar jail. This comes after Sisodia was arrested yesterday at 6:20 p.m. in connection with the Delhi government's now scrapped excise policy by the Enforcement Directorate. So remember, while he is lodged in the Tihar jail, we're given to understand that the Enforcement Directorate has sought a 10-day remand of the former Delhi Deputy Chief Minister. Meanwhile, the court would be hearing the plea of Manish Sisodia at 2 p.m. today. Let's go across to Piyush, who's joining us live from outside the court. Piyush, to begin with, if you can help us understand what is the ground of what is going to be the argument we can expect in the court today by the CBI as his custody ends today.
Well, Samiksha, today his bail hearing will also take place, and at the same time ED has also sought his custody. Remember that he has been sent to judicial custody after the CBI's custody came to an end, and he had applied for the bail. Today the court is going to hear his bail hearing. As far as the ED's case is concerned, remember that yesterday he was arrested by Enforcement Directorate after 2 days of a massive grilling which took place at Tihar jail. He was arrested, Manish Sisodia was arrested by Enforcement Directorate. Today ED is going to produce him before the court at around 2 p.m. and is going to seek his 10 days of custody. The court, after listening to the request of Enforcement Directorate officers and the counsels inside the House of Revenue Court, has now said that it will be hearing arguments from both the sides, from the counsel of Manish Sisodia as well as from ED's counsel, about the custody which is now being sought by Enforcement Directorate. Now the allegation which Manish Sisodia is facing, that the Delhi excise policy which has now been scrapped was formulated by the top leaders of Farm Aadmi Party to generate and channelize the illegal funds, and through this they had also increased the margin, which was earlier at 2%, and it was increased to 12%. The allegation which the Aam Aadmi Party leaders and especially Manish Sisodia is facing, that it was increased from 2 to 12 because out of 12 the 6% was to be given to the Aam Aadmi Party leaders via some backdoor. So that is going to be investigated. Remember that Enforcement Directorate has already filed its charge sheet where the name of Vijay Nair has been mentioned as to how he was the main conspirator. His name, Samir Mahindru's name, and as to how a complete channel was created where South Cartel was also involved. And then we remember as to how the statement of one of the key witnesses has also surfaced. C. Arvind, where he has named Manish Sisodia. So Manish Sisodia's problems are going to further increase. An enforcement directorate has now sought his 10 days of custody. The court is going to hear the arguments at 2 p.m. We'll have to wait and watch for how many days the custody of enforcement directorate are to be given to ED of Manish Sisodia. Before that, at around 12, what we are hearing is that from Tihar jail, Manish Sisodia will be brought here at Rouse Avenue Court. He will be kept here.
Piyush, just stay with us, requesting you to stay with us. Let's go across to BJP's Manjinder Singh Sirsa also joining us. Your reaction to a tweet that has been put out by Arvind Kejriwal, where he's interestingly drawn a comparison of Manish Sisodia with Prahlad, saying that they could not stop Prahlad, then how can they be able to stop Manish Sisodia now?
Yeah, Manish Sisodia and Arvind Kejriwal, they are not just corrupt, but they got a corrupt mind also. भगवान के साथ इसकी तुलना करनी, कल सौरभ भारद्वाज राम जी के साथ तुलना कर रहे थे कि राम जी को वनवास जाना पड़ा तो घर में खड़ाई रखकर राज किया। ये इनकी जो एक शराब घोटाले में जिसको शराबियों की बददुआ लगी है, उन परिवार के लोगों की बददुआ लगी है जिनके परिवार को इन्होंने नशे पे लगाया था, उनकी बददुआ के कारण आज मनीष सिसोदिया जेल के अंदर हैं। और ऐसे लोग जो करप्शन से जुड़े हुए हैं, और ईडी क्या कर रही है? ईडी तो पीएमएलए में जो आपने हवाले के माध्यम से पैसा इधर से उधर भेजा है उसकी जांच कर रही है। आप कह रहे हैं सबूत नहीं है, अगर सबूत नहीं है तो कोर्ट को जाकर बताएं, कोर्ट आपको छोड़ देगी। सबूत है इसलिए तो कोर्ट आपको बार बार जेल भेज रही है। इतनी बड़ी करप्शन का अरविंद केजरीवाल खुलेआम साथ देंगे, ऐसी दिल्ली के लोगों ने कल्पना नहीं की थी। दिल्ली के लोग सब देख रहे हैं किस तरह से करप्ट लोग भगवान का नाम ले रहे हैं, किस तरह से भगवान के नाम का इस्तेमाल किया जा रहा है, राम जी के नाम का, भक्त के नाम का इस्तेमाल किया जा रहा है, ये दिल्ली के लोग देख रहे हैं।
All right, thanks for giving us your response. Let's go back to Piyush Mishra, who's there outside the court, getting us the latest. Piyush, if you can help us understand the South cartel link in this case, has the BRS party been able to establish, has been able to answer those questions being put as to what could be the link of Kavitha with the one accused who's been arrested in this case?
Well, Samiksha, Republic TV was the first channel which broke out about the South cartel link. Remember that on the day when Manish Sisodia was arrested, on that particular day we had established and also told to our viewers as to how this South cartel link has now surfaced in this entire case. What is the primary role of the South cartel is that on the directions of the South cartel, the policy was...
विदेश मंत्री से भी मुलाकात की थी ऑस्ट्रेलियन प्रधानमंत्री ने, और अब हैदराबाद हाउस में प्रधानमंत्री के साथ इस वक्त मौजूद हैं ऑस्ट्रेलियन प्रधानमंत्री एंथनी एल्बनीज़े। और हमने देखा था कि किस तरह से भारत पहुंचने पर उन्होंने साफ तौर पर कहा कि भारत में जिस तरह से प्रधानमंत्री ने गर्मजोशी से उनका स्वागत किया है वो उससे अभिभूत है, साथ ही दोनों देश दोस्ती।
All right, let's go across to our senior executive editor Abhishek Kapoor, who's also joining us right now. Abhishek, we understand a lot of key meetings are lined up today, one of course being the bilateral of the Australian Prime Minister with Prime Minister Modi.
This is exactly what's happening as of now, Amiksha. The delegation level talks, the bilateral taking place on two sides. Remember, Prime Minister Albanese has come with a high-powered delegation, which includes apart from about half a dozen ministers from his government, a business delegation component of about 25 top business corporate leaders from Australia. So it's a very significant visit, both at the level of the bilateral trade relationship between the two sides and the larger context of the geopolitical, geostrategic dialogue that happens between India and Australia. Remember, this is the first time in-person summit happening between the two sides post upgrade of the relationship into a comprehensive strategic partnership which happened in 2020. but subsequently because of the COVID pandemic, in-person meetings could not take place. What is important is that since then, in the manner in which the whole geopolitical environment has changed, Australia also is that it has to realign because in the last decade between 2008, 9 and 2018, Australians had sort of calibrated their equations more with the Chinese side. And now I think that recalibration and realignment is happening, and for the first time, as announced by Prime Minister Albanese from on board INS Vikrant yesterday, Australia will be hosting the Malabar exercises of the coordinations between the United States, Japan, India, and of course their own navy. And that's going to be the first time that the Australians will be hosting these exercises. So there is this geostrategic component in the Indo-Pacific and South China Sea, the cooperation and collaboration and interoperability between these forces to make sure that the sea lanes remain open, both for imperatives of trade and the larger geostrategic significance, and in the face of increasing Chinese bellicosity, particularly in their immediate neighborhood. It is important that that kind of collaboration really takes shape. And that's why perhaps it was a message that Prime Minister Albanese took time out and went on board INS Vikrant, which is India's first indigenous aircraft carrier. Remember also that Australia is a part of AUKUS, which is actually a military alliance between Australia, United States and the United Kingdom. And so a lot of give and take also happens. Also remember, we saw how pictures came in yesterday, even as Prime Minister Albanese's visit was panning out of how exchange program in the name of army personnel between India and Australia took place yesterday.
All right,
it's a very important visit, bilateral dialogue taking place, and a joint statement after that.
All right, Abhishek, thank you for getting us all those details. A joint statement that would follow after that bilateral meet ends. Currently, as we speak, a bilateral is underway of Prime Minister Modi and the Australian Prime Minister, who was earlier today accorded a ceremonial welcome as well at the forecourt of the Rashtrapati Bhavan. So remember, this is a crucial bilateral meet that is taking place. It's given to, we also given to understand that the bilateral trade could almost double in the coming years, as a lot of important MOUs could be signed as the Australian Prime Minister is on a visit to the country.
Well, at this point in time, I'm reporting from the ITO of the National Capital, and there you can see behind me, this is Bharatiya Janata Party, who is again protesting against Arvind Kejriwal and the Chief Minister of Delhi. As we do understand that two of the ministers is already inside the judicial custody, and there you can see the unique kind of protest that is happening at the ITO of the National Capital. We'll be right back after a short break. Stay tuned.
A serving soldier of the Indian Army has been murdered by a politician, and the Latvian media is quiet about it. Not emphatically, not vocally, not till Republic named and shamed them about their silence over Lance Naik Prabhu's death. Look at this man. He's the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister, and as our reporter runs after him to ask him to say one thing, he says not one word. He just keeps running away from the Republic reporters.
All the 9 of the accused have been taken to custody. The primary accused, Chinnasamy, had been picked up by the CID and handed over to the Tamil Nadu cops.
आप इंडिया आते हैं एंड देन यू स्टार्ट स्पेशल फोर्सेस, एनएसजी, गरुड़, मार्कोस, किस तरीके से ये सफर शुरू हुआ स्पेशल फोर्सेस को ट्रेन करने?
कर्नल साहब, तो ही वाज एट दैट टाइम CEO of 6AR, और पहली अपॉर्चुनिटी उन्होंने मुझे दी,
अच्छा,
टू ट्रेन हिज रेजिमेंट, एंड ही आस्क्ड मी कि आप इनको नाइफ टू नाइफ कॉम्बैट में खुकरी ट्रेन करो. जब मैंने एडीजी इन्फेंट्री के सामने वो डेमो दिया और उनको वो बहुत अलग लिखा, एज लॉन्ग एज आवर सोल्जर्स आर सेफ, दे गेट द बेस्ट, आई हैव नो प्रॉब्लम।
Sir, are you appearing before the Lokayukta? Sir, where were you all these days? Sir, where were you all these days? Mr. Madal, where were you? This is Mr. Madal Virupakshapat. His followers are the ones who are in fact going on stating that he is a heart patient now, but all one needs to agree over here is that there are questions that are being asked, which he needs to go on and answer, because this man right here on our screens is tainted. His son is found with cash. He's caught red-handed, but there has been no sort of response.
कहीं ना कहीं मार्शल आर्ट्स लड़ाई झगड़े खून खराबे से ज्यादा आई थिंक इट्स अबाउट हार्मनी आल्सो।
सर इट्स अ पर्सनालिटी डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम।
पूरा मार्शल आर्ट्स
बिल्कुल जी। आपकी फौज में भी यही है, डिसिप्लिन, माइंड, बॉडी एंड स्पिरिट इज इन कमांड ऑफ यू। आपके पास गन है बट आप किसी सिविलियन को गुस्सा आते गोली तो नहीं मार देते ना। यू हैव टू कंट्रोल दैट कंट्रोल कम्स फ्रॉम द माइंड एंड फ्रॉम द ट्रेनिंग। सो दैट जो आर्मी में हम बोलते हैं फोर्स कंटिन्यूम, किस फोर्स पे कितना फोर्स देना है, ये मेंटल कंट्रोल ट्रेनिंग से आता है, करेक्ट ट्रेनिंग से।
A serving soldier of the Indian Army has been murdered by a politician, and the Latvians media is quiet about it. Not emphatically, not vocally, not till Republic named and shamed them about their silence over Lance Naik Prabhu's death. Look at this man. He's the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister, and as our reporter runs after him to ask him to say one thing, he says not one word. He just keeps running away from the Republic reporters.
All the 9 of the accused have been taken to custody. The primary accused, Chinnasamy, had been picked up by the CID and handed over to the Tamil Nadu cops.
आप इंडिया आते हैं एंड देन यू स्टार्ट स्पेशल फोर्सेस, एनएसजी, गरुड़, मार्कोस। किस तरीके से ये सफर शुरू हुआ स्पेशल फोर्सेस को ट्रेन करने?
कर्नल साहब, तो ही वाज एट दैट टाइम सीओ ऑफ 6AR और पहली अपॉर्चुनिटी उन्होंने मुझे दी।
अच्छा।
टू ट्रेन हिज रेजिमेंट एंड ही आस्क्ड मी कि आप उनको नाइफ टू नाइफ कॉम्बैट में खुकरी ट्रेन करो। जब मैंने एडीजी इन्फेंट्री के सामने वो डेमो दिया और उनको वो बहुत अलग लिखा, एज लॉन्ग एज आवर सोल्जर्स आर सेफ, दे गेट द बेस्ट, आई हैव नो प्रॉब्लम।
Sir, are you appearing before the Lokayukta? Sir, where were you all these days? Sir, where were you all these days? Mr. Madal, where were you? This is Mr. Madal Virupakshapat. His followers are the ones who are in fact going on stating that he is a heart patient now, but all one needs to agree over here is that there are questions that are being asked, which he needs to go on and answer, because this man right here on our screens is tainted.
Bharatiya Janata Party is making it very clear that look, it's our own government, but we are starting our own investigation. We are doing it. What moral ground can Kavitha or Manish Sisodia take?
Karnataka and MLA's son is caught with 8 crores. They want to do an investigation with Lokayukta. Now in Telangana, we red-handedly caught agents of Bharatiya Janata Party trying to purchase our MLAs. And CBI comes over, takes over the entire investigation and says states cannot do it, we will do it. Now in Karnataka, if Lokayukta can do it, why in Telangana SIT cannot do it?
Big stir over women's reservation bill. 18 opposition parties join K. Kavitha's hunger strike. The Congress is likely to skip it. Trouble mounts for Kejriwal's deputy. The ED seeks a 10-day remand. Sisodia is to be produced in court at 2 this afternoon. The government exposes Western media propaganda, says the New York Times, peddling lies against the Modi government. Galot police hit a new low. Widows of the Pulwama martyrs demanding compensation are detained. The ED's news titans in the land for jobs scam after Lalu Prasad Yadav's interrogation. Close aide is now raided. The Australian Prime Minister gets a grand ceremonial welcome at the Rashtrapati Bhavan, hails India-Australia ties. Good morning and welcome. This is Live and Breaking on Republic TV. I'm Nupur Talwar Suri and we go straight across to news that's just coming in from Bihar. This is about the land for jobs scam. Multi-location raids are currently underway across about 15 areas. We're now learning that the ED team has also reached Tejashwi Yadav's house in the national capital. Now, do remember that the CBI has also interrogated Lalu Yadav as well as his wife in the land for jobs scam, and I think we are now joined by our political editor Aishwarya Kapoor on this. Aishwarya, this is getting closer to the Yadavs as much as it can. We are given to understand that Tejashwi Yadav's residence also is now being raided. All right, we seem to have lost that audio connection with Aishwarya Kapoor over there. We're going to try and get him back in just a bit for you. But here's what we know so far. We are learning that the Enforcement Directorate is also now looking at the land for jobs scam, and there are close aides of Lalu Prasad Yadav who have been raided. Now, raids were carried out earlier this morning in Patna as well, including a close aide who's believed to be the man who looks after the construction at the huge mall that is being built in Patna. Now, that mall, of course, is believed to be owned by Lalu Prasad Yadav's family, and it is alleged that when he was the railway minister, jobs were given in the railways in lieu of land which was acquired by Lalu Prasad Yadav's family. Now, the CBI, of course, is also conducting an investigation into this case, and it conducted searches at the premises linked to the former Bihar Chief Minister and RJD Chief Lalu Prasad Yadav and his families in connection with this land for jobs scam on Friday as well. Let's go across to Shavan Sen, who continues to bring us the latest on this. Shavan, we're now given to understand that the ED is looking at property that belongs to Lalu Prasad Yadav, his son, his wife, and also other aides, and raids are being conducted. In fact, we're now learning that Tejashwi Yadav's residence is also likely to be raided.
Well, in fact, these searches are coming in after the Enforcement Directorate essentially registered ECIR, that is an FIR equivalent in this particular case. The land for jobs scam was initially being probed by the Central Bureau of Investigation, and now we have another agency stepping in. Earlier in the day, we got from our sources information that about 15 to 20 locations where these searches are being carried out, which includes properties linked to Lalu Prasad Yadav family members. In fact, we are also being told that the searches are being carried out in multiple cities, which includes Mumbai as well as some cities in Uttar Pradesh, and also in the national capital and Bihar, where these searches are being carried out.
Right now, Shavan, even as this happens, of course, there is a simultaneous CBI investigation which is also on. In fact, in its charge sheet, it names Lalu Prasad Yadav, Rabdi Devi, who also happens to be the former Chief Minister of Bihar, and their two daughters, that is Misa Yadav and Hema Yadav. Give us more details about this particular FIR that has been filed by the CBI.
Well, in fact, Nupur, they're essentially looking at the fact that when Lalu Prasad Yadav was the railway minister, there were examinations that were basically carried out for postings within the railway department. It turns out undeserving candidates were actually given the, postings in the railway department in lieu of land and other gift items to the former union minister, along with him, his family members too.
In fact, during the investigation, they basically come across massive land parcels in the state of Bihar, which was directly in the name of Lalu Prasad's family members. And it turns out that these were land parcels that were actually given as bribe to the family in return for a job within the railway department. It's important to point out here that the Central Bureau of Investigation had started a preliminary inquiry quite some time back, and finally the FIR, which was registered earlier last year, and thereafter searches were being carried out, following which one charge sheet has already been filed by the Central Bureau of Investigation. But now it turns out that the Enforcement Directorate too has stepped in. These are the first set of searches that are being carried out by the agency. It remains to be seen whether at all that other members of Lalu Prasad Yadav, they too will now be probed by the Enforcement Directorate.
All right, Shravan reporting on that. Thank you very much for joining us. Now, here's what we know so far. Of course, the ED is conducting searches in multiple cities in Bihar in connection with money laundering investigation into the land for jobs scam, in which the RJD leaders Lalu Prasad Yadav, his wife Rabri Devi, were both questioned recently by the CBI. Now, the searches are covering some leaders who are linked to the RJD in towns like Patna, Pulwama, Sharif, etc. Now, the case, of course, pertains to people allegedly given employment in the railways in return for land parcels gifted or sold at cheap rates to the Yadav family and its associates. The CBI had earlier, of course, filed a charge sheet as well in this case. Now, the CBI's charge sheet, of course, named Lalu Prasad Yadav, his wife, and the former Bihar Chief Minister Rabri Devi, as well as their two daughters in the case. There are, I think, about 14 other people who have been named in that particular charge sheet, and it essentially talks of criminal conspiracy and says that basically an examination for Group D employees at the railways was conducted, and undeserving candidates were given jobs, and in lieu of that, land parcels were bought at cheap rates. Now, the BJP is staging a protest against the Aam Aadmi Party in the national capital. The ED is now seeking a 10-day remand of Kejriwal's deputy, that is Manish Sisodia, after questioning him in Tihar jail. Now, this comes after Sisodia was arrested yesterday at about 6:20 in the evening in connection to the Delhi government's now scrapped excise policy, popularly known as Liquorgate. Now, pictures on your screen right now are of a protest that is taking place in the national capital. Large number of BJP workers over there protesting against the Aam Aadmi Party. Now, the Aam Aadmi Party in turn, of course, has alleged that these agencies are acting at the behest of the central government, going on to say that there was no need for Manish Sisodia to be arrested in a separate case by the ED, even as he is supposed to appear for bail. Let's go across now live to Anuj, who's reporting from New Delhi on this. Anuj, give us a sense of what's happening at the protest site. Anuj, can you hear me?
Well, at this point in time, as we are getting the pictures from the ITO of the national capital, let me tell you that this is Bharatiya Janata Party who is again protesting against Aam Aadmi Party and the Supremo, that's Arvind Kejriwal, Chief Minister of Delhi. And the demand is very much clear, that they want resignation. They want resignation of the Chief Minister. And let me tell you the kind of unique kind of protest, rather, that is going on. As on my left, I'll ask my video journalist to give it a sense. This is a replica, this is a model of a home of Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal. This is replica which has been made in over here. And a man is standing behind the window and is wearing the mask of Arvind Kejriwal as he is the Chief Minister. So this is the kind of protest what we are seeing from the national capital, and demand remain the same, that Arvind Kejriwal should also resign. And the Bharatiya Janata Party is saying that this is not limited to only liquor policy or liquor scam, but this is about the education, this is about the health, this is about the other scam. Let me give you the sense from that side also. On one side we have shown you the kind of replica which has been made in of the residence of Arvind Kejriwal. There, the two models could be clearly seen. This is the Tihar jail replica which has been made in over here, the model of Tihar jail. And on one cell, this is, they are trying to show Satin Jain. On another cell, they are trying to show that Manish Sisodia is there. So that's the kind of protest what we are seeing, the unique kind of protest. This is a cell which has been made in over here, replica of Tihar jail, a cell in which they are showing that Manish Sisodia is lodged. On the other hand, let me show you, that's another cell in which they are trying to show Satin Jain. So there we are getting the live images, as we have seen the images which came out, and earlier it was the massage which was seen in that visuals. So that is something what they are trying to show in this particular cell. So this is a kind of unique protest that's happening at the national capital. We have seen earlier also how Bharatiya Janata Party hit the road and they are demanding the resignation of Arvind Kejriwal, that's the Chief Minister of Delhi. These are the live images from the ITO, and they are saying that Arvind Kejriwal, the Chief Minister, is the kingpin. They are saying that he is the mastermind behind all the scams that have been done. So that's the line which has been taken by Bharatiya Janata Party. Whereas, let me remind you, where Manish Sisodia is already under the judicial custody, Satin Jain is already under the judicial custody. We have seen the entry of Enforcement Directorate today at 2 p.m. This is going to be in the Rouse Avenue Court when it will be decided that what exactly is going to happen next, because Enforcement Directorate is also looking for the custody now. And today is about the bail hearing also in the Rouse Avenue Court when we are talking about the CBI, when CBI arrested Manish Sisodia in the same case. And finally, this exactly is the situation on the ground. We are getting you the live images. These are the non-stop live images from the ITO of the national capital. Bharatiya Janata Party again on the street.
कहीं ना कहीं मार्शल आर्ट्स लड़ाई झगड़े खून खराबे से ज्यादा आई थिंक इट्स अबाउट हार्मनी आल्सो.
सर, इट्स अ पर्सनालिटी डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम.
पूरा मार्शल आर्ट्स.
बिल्कुल
जी.
आपकी फौज में भी यही है. डिसिप्लिन, माइंड, बॉडी एंड स्पिरिट इज इन कमांड ऑफ यू. आपके पास गन है, बट आप किसी सिविलियन को गुस्सा आते गोली तो नहीं मार देते ना. यू हैव टू कंट्रोल दैट कंट्रोल कम्स फ्रॉम द माइंड एंड फ्रॉम द ट्रेनिंग. सो दैट जो आर्मी में हम बोलते हैं फोर्स कंटिन्यूम, किस फोर्स पे कितना फोर्स देना है, ये मेंटल कंट्रोल ट्रेनिंग से आता है, करेक्ट ट्रेनिंग से.
A serving soldier of the Indian Army has been murdered by a politician, and the Latvian media is quiet about it. Not emphatically, not vocally, not till Republic named and shamed them about their silence over Lance Naik Prabhu's death. Look at this man. He's the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister, and as our reporter runs after him to ask him to say one thing, he says not one word. He just keeps running away from the Republic reporters.
All the 9 of the accused have been taken to custody. The primary accused, Chinnasamy, had been picked up by the CID and handed over to the Tamil Nadu cops.
DRS leader Kavitha, who is facing the Enforcement Directorate's heat in the Delhi liquor policy case, is going to undertake a one-day hunger strike at Jantar Mantar on March 10th. This is in order to table the women's reservation bill in the current session of Parliament. The rally will include participation from a number of opposition parties and women's organizations. Addressing the media, Kavitha, the daughter of Telangana Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao, said the bill has been lying in cold storage since 2010 and Modi government has a historic opportunity to get it passed in Parliament before 2024.
Seen many nations which have given reservations to women in political platforms and national parliaments have made tremendous strides in terms of overall development of the nation. So now the point being, since the time I was in parliament, every Women's Day we would get an opportunity to speak, and every time inside and outside the parliament, wherever I got the chance, I've constantly raised the issue of women's reservation bill. Why? I'll tell you. Because in this country from 1996, the issue has actually started, the discussion has started. From then,
Your screen right now are coming to you from Hyderabad House in the national capital, where the Australian Prime Minister and his delegation are in bilateral talks with the Prime Minister Modi. Do remember that this is the third day of Anthony Albanese's visit to India, and on agenda are several bilateral issues, including, of course, economics, security, defense and strategy. Education also is something that's been discussed between the two sides, with Australia, of course, talking about the fact that degrees that people have got in Australia will be valid in India and vice versa. So that's been seen as a major boost to the education policy of both countries. Well, apart from that, of course, there are several other issues that are being discussed. Security is, of course, top priority. Let's go across on the phone line to Abhishek Kapoor, our senior executive editor. Abhishek, several issues, of course, are being discussed between both sides. Now, however, there is a great deal of focus on security and strategic alliance.
Well, yes, absolutely. I mean, the manner in which things have changed really in the Indo-Pacific in the last few years, Nupur, there is strategic realignment of forces there, and there is this thought that is gaining ground that a lot of nations need to come together and collaborate to make sure that the expansionism that almost every nation in the neighborhood of China faces, from India and Ladakh to Taiwan, of course, and the Philippines and Indonesia and other nations in the South China Sea, they need to collaborate in some manner, and that's why we are seeing Australians also realigning themselves in their strategic interests over the last few years, coming back to the fore. And in fact, they are hosting the Malabar exercises for the first time later this year, and so that's the strategic component and the backdrop in which this bilateral summit is happening. And then, of course, the bilateral component of increasing the trade between two sides, the people-to-people contact. Remember, a huge number of Indian migrants keep moving towards Australia, and there is a vibrant diaspora there. Prime Minister will be traveling to Australia later this year, in the month of May, in fact, to participate at the Quad Summit, which is happening in Australia. And then again, Prime Minister Albanese comes back in September to participate in the G20 Leaders Summit. So there's top-level engagement happening. The two leaders have already met for the 3 times. It's the 4th time they're meeting. And this is the first meeting happening after signing of the free trade agreement, and that's going to, they're expected to give a major push to bilateral trade. So all those things, trade, economics, commerce, and people-to-people contact, a glimpse of which we saw yesterday in Ahmedabad and Mumbai, when Prime Minister Albanese and Prime Minister Modi were present at the opening of the last Border Gavaskar series test match between India and Australia, and then Prime Minister Albanese in Mumbai on board the INS Vikrant, where in fact he formally announced the Malabar exercises to be hosted by Australia. So all those things are now having taken place. We are looking forward to a joint statement by the two sides, where the two leaders will be speaking on how they intend to take the relationship and the partnership, comprehensive strategic partnership forward.
All right, Abhishek Kapoor, thank you very much for joining us and bringing us all those details. So pictures on your screen are of the talks that are taking place in Hyderabad House in New Delhi. You are with Republic TV. On the other side, the Rajasthan police hit a new low detained widows of Pulwama martyrs. And in China, Xi Jinping gets a record third term.
Days after the Karnataka corruption wing recovered the cash dash of more than rupees 8 crore from BJP MLA's son, the Lokayukta grilled the prime bribe gate accused and BJP MLA Madal Virupakshapa for over 5 hours on Thursday. Republic confronted the BJP MLA yesterday.
Sir, Lokayukta munde ivagle appear ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ? Sir, are you appearing before the Lokayukta? Sir, where were you all these days? Sir, where were you all these days? Mr. Madal, where were you? Mr. Madal, where were you? Mr. Madal.
On being asked about his whereabouts on the same day the bribe gate exploded, the MLA kept mum.
Sir, Lokayukta munde ivagle appear ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ? Sir, are you appearing before the Lokayukta? Sir, where were you all these days? Sir.
Out on bail, Virupakshapa received a warm welcome by supporters on Tuesday. The tainted BJP MLA even denied graft charge, claiming that the money recovered during raids was earned from groundnut plantation. Therefore, the leader, after being interrogated yesterday, assured his full cooperation in the further investigation.
ನ್ಯಾಯಾಲಯದ ಆದೇಶದಂತೆ ಈ ದಿನ ನಾನು ವಿಚಾರಣೆಗೆ ಹಾಜರಾಗ್ತೀನಿ.
ಸರ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿದ್ರಿ ಸರ್? ಇಷ್ಟು ದಿವಸ ಎಲ್ಲಿದ್ರಿ?
ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಜಾಗ ಬಿಡೋಣ, ಸಾಕು ಬಿಡೋಣ, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಜಾಗ ಬಿಡೋಣ.
ನೋಡಿ
ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಜಾಗ ಬಿಡೋಣ.
ಒಂದು ನಿಮಿಷ.
Welcome back. You are with Republic TV, and we are now going to take you on board the INS Vikrant a day after the Australian Prime Minister was given a guard of honour there.
Is the only channel on board INS Vikrant, which is India's indigenous aircraft carrier, and this is the first time where INS Vikrant has reached Mumbai from Kochi. We have been reporting on board, and this is coming right after the Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese on Thursday, who embarked on India's indigenous aircraft carrier INS Vikrant, and Albanese, who was received on board Vikrant by Chief of Naval Staff Admiral Hari Kumar with a guard of honour. Carrier INS Vikrant, which is the pride of India, is been serving since years, and even we know that INS Vikrant, which has really played a vital role in 1971, but where it was before, earlier it was decommissioned in 2016, but last year, that is on 2nd September 2022, where the Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the first made in India aircraft carrier INS Vikrant, carrying it a historic occasion and an exceptional symbol of a self-relevant India. It's very honor for us, as we can see the Australian Prime Minister, who was here on board yesterday, and also it is an invite from the Australia as well, because the next program that is going to be happen in Australia is something has been invited to Indian Navy.
Ma'am, as of now, we don't have the exact details of the same, ma'am. However, it was a prestigious event for us, one of a kind event wherein a Prime Minister of a foreign nation has visited us, and we hosted them well, ma'am. And they had a long time here. They saw the deck and the facilities on board, and they saw the indigenous aircraft LCA Tejas and interacted with our crew and men. So all in all, it was a learning experience for us, an exposure for us, and a prestigious event, as I said.
कोई कुछ नहीं है। आप बात करने दीजिए प्लीज उनसे, डॉक्टर साहब से बात करने दीजिए हमें। आप बात करने दीजिए डॉक्टर साहब से, इसको छोड़ दो, एक बार बात करने दो, एक बार बैठो। अरे सर एक भाई अपना माइक ले, अपना माइक दूर रखो, थोड़ी देर दूर रखिए यार, बात करने का। सर बैठो।
आप इंडिया आते हैं एंड देन यू स्टार्ट स्पेशल फोर्सेस, एनएसजी, गरुड़, मार्कोस। किस तरीके से ये सफर शुरू हुआ स्पेशल फोर्सेस को ट्रेन करने?
कर्नल साहब, तो ही वॉज एट दैट टाइम CEO of 6AR, और पहली अपॉर्चुनिटी उन्होंने मुझे दी।
अच्छा।
टू ट्रेन हिज रेजिमेंट, एंड ही आस्क्ड मी कि आप उनको नाइफ टू नाइफ कॉम्बैट में खुखरी ट्रेन करो। जब मैंने ADG इन्फेंट्री के सामने वो डेमो दिया और उनको वो बहुत अलग लिखा, एज लॉन्ग एज आवर सोल्जर्स आर सेफ, दे गेट द बेस्ट, आई हैव नो प्रॉब्लम।
Days after the Karnataka corruption wing recovered the cash stash of more than rupees 8 crore from BJP MLA's son, the Lokayukta grilled the prime bribegate accused and BJP MLA Madal Virupakshapa for over 5 hours on Thursday. Republic confronted the BJP MLA yesterday.
Sir, Lokayukta munde ivagle appear ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ? Sir, are you appearing before the Lokayukta? Sir, where were you all these days? Sir, where were you all these days? Mr. Madal, where were you? Mr. Madal, where were you? Mr. Madal.
On being asked about his whereabouts on the same day the bribe gate exploded, the MLA kept mum.
Sir, Lokayukta ಮುಂದೆ ಇವಾಗಲೇ ಅಪಿಯರ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ? Sir, are you appearing before the Lokayukta? Sir, where were you all these days? Sir.
Out on bail, Virupakshapa received a warm welcome by supporters on Tuesday. The tainted BJP MLA even denied graft charge, claiming that the money recovered during raids was earned from groundnut plantation. Therefore, the leader, after being interrogated yesterday, assured his full cooperation in the further investigation.
ನ್ಯಾಯಾಲಯದ ಆದೇಶದಂತೆ ಈ ದಿನ ನಾನು ವಿಚಾರಣೆಗೆ ಹಾಜರಾಗ್ತೀನಿ.
ಸರ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿದ್ರಿ ಸರ್? ಇಷ್ಟು ದಿವಸ ಎಲ್ಲಿದ್ರಿ?
ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಜಾಗ ಬಿಡೋಣ, ಸಾಕು ಬಿಡೋಣ, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಜಾಗ ಬಿಡೋಣ.
ಒಂದು ನಿಮಿಷ, ನಾನೊಬ್ಬ ಹಿರಿಯ ಶಾಸಕ, ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತಾ? ನನಗೆ ಹಾರ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಇದೆ. ನೀವು ನನ್ನ ಟಚ್ ಮಾಡೋದಾಗ್ಲಿ, ತೊಂದರೆ ಮಾಡೋದಾಗ್ಲಿ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಮಾಡೋದಾಗ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀನಿ.
With Bribegate hitting the BJP right ahead of polls, will Bomai-led government be able to wash off this taint? Bureau Report, Republic TV.
Is the only channel on board INS Vikrant, which is India's indigenous aircraft carrier, and this is the first time where INS Vikrant has reached Mumbai from Kochi. We have been reporting on board, and this is coming right after the Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese on Thursday, who embarked on India's indigenous aircraft carrier INS Vikrant, and Albanese, who was received on board Vikrant by Chief of Naval Staff Admiral R. Hari Kumar with a guard of honor. Carrier INS Vikrant, which is the pride of India, is been serving since years, and even we know that INS Vikrant, which has really played a vital role in 1971, but where it was before, earlier it was decommissioned in 2016, but last year, that is on 2nd September 2022, where the Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the first made in India aircraft carrier INS Vikrant, carrying it a historic occasion and an exceptional symbol of a self-relevant India. It's very honor for us, as we can see the Australian Prime Minister who was here on board yesterday, and also it has an invite from the Australia as well, because the next program that is going to be happen in Australia is something has been invited to Indian Navy.
Ma'am, as of now, we don't have the exact details of the same, ma'am. However, it was a prestigious event for us, one of a kind event wherein a Prime Minister of a foreign nation has visited us, and we hosted them well, ma'am, and they had a long time here. They saw the deck and the facilities on board, and they saw the indigenous aircraft LCA Tejas and interacted with our crew and men. So all in all, it was a learning experience for us, an exposure for us, and a prestigious event, as I said.
A serving soldier of the Indian Army has been murdered by a politician, and the Latvian media is quiet about it. Not emphatically, not vocal.
Big stir over the women's reservation bill. 18 opposition parties join Kavitha's hunger strike. Congress likely to skip it. Trouble mounts for Kejriwal's deputy. The ED seeks 10-day remand. Sisodiya to be produced in court at 2 this afternoon. The government slams the Western media propaganda, says the New York Times is peddling lies against the Modi government. Rajasthan police hit a new low. Widows of the Pulwama martyrs demanding compensation are detained. The ED's news titans on the land for job scam after Lalu Prasad's close aide is raided. The ED team is now at Tejashwi Yadav's residence. The Australian Prime Minister holds bilateral talks with Prime Minister Modi, hails India-Australia ties. And in a record win, Xi Jinping has been elected as China's president for a third time. Good afternoon. You are watching live and breaking on Republic TV. I'm Nupur Talwar Suri. Now, going straight across to Jaipur right now, where widows of 3 constables who were killed in Pulwama have now been arrested by the Rajasthan police. Let's go across to Amandeep, in fact, who has been reporting on this since the stir really began. Amandeep, good morning. Give us more details in terms of what we are seeing right now. Now, they were, of course, arrested last night, or rather detained last night and taken away from the protest site.
को कहाँ रखा है पुलिस ने बताया आपको?
रात को करीबन 3 बजे, मैं 2:30 बजे वहाँ से आ गया था। मेरे को लूज मोशन हो रहे थे, तो 2:30 बजे 3 बजे इनको उठाया। 1 दर्जन कार्यकर्ता यहाँ पर हैं। वीरांगना को भी हिरासत में ले लिया, लेकिन पुलिस बता नहीं रही वीरांगनाएं कहाँ हैं। उनके साथ जो परिजन थे उनको भी गिरफ्तार कर लिया, वीरांगनाओं को भी गिरफ्तार कर लिया। वीरांगनाओं को पहले महिला थाना लेके गए थे गांधीनगर, उसके बाद से पता नहीं है महिलाएं कहाँ डिटेन कर रखी हैं वीरांगनाएं।
वीरांगनाओं को डिटेन करने पर पहले भी मुद्दा बना, पहले भी पुलिस घिरी थी, सरकार पर भी सवाल उठे थे, अब वापस से वही चीज दोहराई गई है।
नहीं, कम से कम मुख्यमंत्री जी देखो, सबसे बड़ा मार्मिक अपील होती है, हमारे राजस्थान की परंपरा है कि मुंह में तातू दूध डालकर हाथ जोड़कर प्रार्थना करते हैं सामने वाले को, तो दया करके उनकी बात सुनता है। उसके बजाय राजस्थान सरकार के निर्देश पर राजस्थान की पुलिस ने उनको अचानक 3 बजे दबोच लिया, मुंह दबा दिया, सारे मोबाइल छीन लिए, उठा के गाड़ी में पटक के ले गए। 1 दर्जन कार्यकर्ता यहाँ पर हैं और वीरांगनाएं और उनके परिजन कहाँ पर है ये अभी तक पता नहीं लगा।
अब आपकी क्या प्लानिंग रहेगी? क्या धरना बदस्तूर जारी रहेगा या फिर समाप्त होगा?
धरना बदस्तूर जारी रहेगा, आंदोलन और तेजी से बढ़ाया जाएगा।
All right, so essentially what we are hearing right now from the kin of the 3 detained widows is that they don't know where they've been taken away, but they were detained last night from the protest site. Now do remember, this action comes after they have been protesting for quite some time outside Sachin Pilot's residence in Jaipur. Now their demands of course include a variety of things. They want statues to be installed, they want essentially jobs for their kin, and these are demands that the Gehlot government has so far said they're not willing to give into, because the Gehlot government says that a couple of statues were already installed and they have to do things as per it has been prescribed.
डॉक्टर साहब, ये बीच रास्ते में लोग,
मैं सामोद बालाजी के दर्शन करने के लिए जा रहा हूँ। सामोद बालाजी के दर्शन करने जा रहा हूँ। क्या धर्मेंद्र जी आज सामोद बालाजी के दर्शन करा सकते हो? नो, 1 सेकंड। मेरे को, मेरे कार्यकर्ताओं को, मीडिया वालों को, अजय सिंह जी, क्या आप सामोद बालाजी के दर्शन करा सकते हो? मिस्टर बालाराम, सामोद हनुमान जी के दर्शन करा सकते हो? माननीय धर्मेंद्र जी से पूछो
सर, क्यों रोका क्या है? क्यों रोका गया है? ये तो बता दीजिए।
एक सांसद को क्यों रोका है, बता तो दीजिए। सर, रोका जा रहा है,
पुलिस क्यों रोक रही है?
जवाब देना होगा। सर क्या कर रहे हैं? धर्मेंद्र जी बता, धर्मेंद्र जी बात कर रही है, आप उधर कार में नहीं, धर्मेंद्र जी बता तो क्या रोक रहे हैं? क्या सीएम
पुलिस क्यों रोक रही है? सर ये तो बताइए, पुलिस रोक क्यों रही है? रीजन तो बता दीजिए।
रीजन बता दीजिए, कारण तो बता दीजिए। अरे सांसद के साथ किससे करोगे?
बात किससे करोगे? बात किससे करोगे? गहलोत से बात करके जवाब दे दो। गहलोत से बात कर लो, उदय सिंह गहलोत से बात कर लो, धर्मेंद्र से बात कर लो, करने वालों से बात कर लो।
आप बताइए ना, कहाँ क्यों किया जा रहा है? क्यों रोका है? आप ये तो बता दीजिए। धर्मेंद्र जी हमें रोकने का क्या मिलेगा? अरे बता तो दीजिए।
कुर्सी तो हटा लो, हटा लेंगे।
दर्शन करने से रोका जा रहा है?
हाँ, रोक रही है, मैं बैठा हूँ।
आपका फोन ट्रैक कर रही थी पुलिस सर, क्या आपको आप सर्वेलेंस
से जाब्ता आया और बैरिकेड लगा दिया?
नहीं, बिल्कुल कर सकती है, तो कुछ भी कर सकते हैं, हमारा फोन भी ट्रैक कर सकते हैं।
गहलोत साहब के लिए क्या मैसेज है आपका? किस्सा
उस जैसा क्रूर, संवेदनहीन, उन जैसा गैर जिम्मेदार, उन जैसा नाकाबिल मुख्यमंत्री मैंने आज तक राजस्थान में नहीं देखा।
क्या इस बात से नाराज थे कि सचिन पायलट के घर के बाहर बैठी हुई थी महिलाएं?
वो तो आप उससे पूछो, मेरे से क्या पूछ रहे हो?
पर वीरांगनाओं की जो मांगे थी बड़ी बेसिक सी मांगे हैं, और उसको लेकर अगर वो पहले बुला लेते उनको, उनसे बात कर लेते तो लगता था कि
अरे अब तो बुला लो, अब तो वीरांगना हमारे पास नहीं है, अब बुला के उनको बात सुन लो और उनको उनकी मांगे पूरी कर दो।
किरोड़ी जी, अभी तमाम बड़े पुलिस कर्मी यहाँ पे आए, आपसे बात करने की कोशिश की है, लेकिन अब यहाँ पे आपको रोक दिया गया है, बिना रीजन बताए आपको रोक दिया गया है। आगे की रणनीति क्या है?
बिना कारण मेरे को रोक दिया, आगे की रणनीति तो बैठा हूँ जहाँ रोक दिया, वहाँ सत्याग्रह जारी है।
लेकिन दर्शन से आपको रोक दिया गया, आप मंदिर में दर्शन तक नहीं करने दे रही पुलिस।
सामोद बालाजी बहुत प्रसिद्ध स्थान है, जब समाधान नहीं निकला तो मर के चलते हैं बालाजी के, ढोक देते हैं बालाजी से, कहते हैं भाई ये निठल्ली निकम्मी संवेदन शून्य सरकार वीरांगनाओं की बात तो सुने, लेकिन मंदिर में प्रार्थना भी नहीं करने दे रहे। बालाजी के पास
सांसद हैं, राज्यसभा सांसद हैं, आपके साथ धक्का मुक्की हुई, आपको जिस तरीके से रोका गया।
अब होती रहती है, हम तो राजनीतिक कार्यकर्ता हैं, धक्का मुक्की, लेकिन वीरांगनाओं के साथ धक्का मुक्की नहीं होनी चाहिए, उनका अपमान नहीं होना चाहिए।
तो यहाँ पे किरोड़ी लाल मीणा जो है उनका साफ कहना है कि वीरांगनाओं के साथ धक्का मुक्की हुई, हम तो राजनीतिक लोग हैं, हमारे साथ धक्का मुक्की होती रहती है। लेकिन तस्वीरें वापस से मैं दिखाऊंगा यहाँ पे किस तरीके से किरोड़ी लाल मीणा का काफिला जो है वो रोका गया। यहाँ पे हैवी डिप्लॉयमेंट के साथ में तमाम बड़े अधिकारी जो हैं वो मौके पर मौजूद हैं। ये पूरी की पूरी तस्वीरें आप देख रहे हैं, जहाँ पे डीसीपी रूरल जो है वो यहाँ पे मौजूद हैं और यहाँ कंटिन्यू आप देख सकते हैं हैवी बैरिकेटिंग जो है वो की गई है। यहाँ पे ये ट्रक जो है ट्रैक्टर है वो लगा दिया गया है। इन्हीं बैरिकेटिंग को तोड़ करके किरोड़ी लाल मीणा आगे बढ़ रहे थे, तब उन्हें सामोद थाने पर रोक दिया गया। किरोड़ी लाल मीणा चाहते थे कि वो शहीद जो है वीरांगना मंजू जाट उसके घर पे जाएं, जिसको पुलिस ने 3 बजे उठा करके जयपुर के सिविल लाइन से उनके आवास पहुंचा दिया गया। उसके बाद पुलिस लगातार उनको ट्रैक कर रही थी। लगातार जैसे वो सुबह मॉर्निंग में पहुंचे, मॉर्निंग में जिस तरीके से कार्यकर्ताओं के साथ में थाने पे पहुंचे थे, महेंद्र शेष थाने से उन्होंने रुख किया महेंद्र जाट की रोहितास लांबा की जो पत्नी है मंजू जाट के घर पर जाने की। तो बीच रास्ते में पुलिस ने उन्हें रोका और इस तरीके से जो आप देख सकते हैं व्हीकल्स जो हैं वो लगाए गए हैं, हैवी व्हीकल्स को यहाँ पे बैरिकेटिंग के रूप में लगा दिया गया है। किरोड़ी लाल मीणा के साथ में बहुत ज़्यादा गहमा गहमी हुई, धक्की मुक्की चले। उसके बाद में किरोड़ी के समर्थकों ने जो यहाँ पे चीज़ें दिखाई हैं उसको लेकर के कहीं ना कहीं चीज़ जो है वो आपको दिखाई दे रही होगी। पीछे यहाँ पे राजीव प्रचार हैं, एसपी रूरल हैं और यहाँ पे वो कमान संभाले हुए हैं। और यहाँ आप सामोद थाने को देख रहे होंगे, सामोद थाने के ठीक बाहर ये बैरिकेटिंग की गई है हैवी डिप्लॉयमेंट के साथ में। यहाँ पे तमाम अधिकारी जो पुलिस के हैं, बड़े अधिकारी वो मौजूद हैं। और इससे पहले जिस तरीके से धक्का मुक्की हुई उसी को लेकर के आग बबूला हो गए थे सांसद किरोड़ी लाल मीणा। उन्होंने कहा कि मेरे साथ धक्का मुक्की हुई है, मुझे मंदिर में दर्शन करने तक नहीं जाने दिया जा रहा। अशोक गहलोत के राज में इस तरीके के उन्होंने आरोप लगाया कि अशोक गहलोत ने तानाशाही उठाई हुई है, हमें यहाँ सड़क पर निकलने नहीं दिया जा रहा है और सारी चीज़ें जो हैं कहीं ना कहीं बिगड़ती जा रही हैं, चीज़ें कहीं ना कहीं ऊपर नीचे हो रही हैं। और किरोड़ी लाल मीणा ने जब आरोप लगाए तो सारी चीज़ों को लेकर के कहीं ना कहीं अभी पुलिस ने कोई जवाब जो है वो नहीं दिया है। पुलिस की यहाँ पे बैरिकेटिंग आपको नज़र आ रही होगी, पीछे से इस रोड पर आवाजाही जो है वो बंद कर दी गई है। ये रास्ता सीधा मंजू जाट जो कि वीरांगना है, पुलवामा शहीद रोहितास लांबा की, उसके घर पे जाता है। और इससे पहले किरोड़ी लाल मीणा का आरोप यही था कि मंजू जाट को घर में कैद कर दिया गया है, उनके घर के बाहर पुलिस लगा दी गई है और उनको उनके मोबाइल फ़ोन जो हैं वो जब्त कर लिए हैं। तो इसी तरीके की बैरिकेटिंग, इसी तरीके की चीज़ें किरोड़ी लाल मीणा का आरोप है कि वहां लगाई गई है, जिसके बाद सारी सिचुएशन जो है वो बिगड़ी। और उस सिचुएशन को बिगड़ने के बाद यहाँ पे किरोड़ी लाल मीणा पहुंचते हैं तो यहाँ पुलिस खड़ी मिलती है और इस तरीके की बैरिकेटिंग को तोड़ करके किरोड़ी लाल मीणा जो है वो आगे बढ़ना चाहते थे। लेकिन यहाँ आप देख सकते हैं पुलिसकर्मी जो है लगातार बात करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। किरोड़ी लाल मीणा जो है धरने पर बैठे हुए हैं, वो उठना नहीं चाहते और वो बात करना नहीं चाहते पुलिस से। और ये तस्वीरें जो आपको दिखाई दे रही हैं, इस तस्वीरों से साफ जाहिर है कि यहाँ पुलिस इससे आगे अब किरोड़ी लाल मीणा के समर्थकों का और उनका मूवमेंट आगे बढ़ाने से मना कर रही है और सख्त हिदायत दे दी गई है यहाँ पे पुलिसकर्मियों को कि यहाँ से आगे किरोड़ी लाल मीणा और उनके समर्थक नहीं बढ़ पाएंगे। सबसे बड़ी तस्वीर यहाँ ये नज़र आई है कि यहाँ तमाम पुलिसकर्मी मौजूद हैं और पुलिसकर्मी जिस तरीके से यहाँ उनको रास्ता रोक करके ये ट्रैक्टर जो है, ये ट्रैक्टर यहाँ लगा दिया गया था। ये किरोड़ी लाल मीणा की गाड़ी है, पीछे आप देख सकते हैं किरोड़ी लाल मीणा सांसद हैं राज्यसभा के। और यहाँ पे आप दिखाई दे रही होगी ये जो गाड़ी है, इस गाड़ी में ही किरोड़ी लाल मीणा बैठे थे और यहाँ से किरोड़ी लाल मीणा इसी बैरिकेटिंग को तोड़ करके आगे बढ़ना चाहते थे। लेकिन
Amardeep, if you can hear me, I was asking you, just hold your thoughts for a minute. We're going to play out that sequence that took place even as Kirodi Lal Meena seemed to have a scuffle with the rural police over there. Let's play that out and then we'll come back to you, Amardeep, so stay with us.
मुझसे बात कर रहे हो क्या? तुम्हारे बाप से बात कर रहे हो क्या? उसका विषय बना लो साले को। वीरांगना का अपमान हो रहा है। शहीदों का अपमान हो रहा है। शहीद के परिवारों के साथ बदतमीजी कर रहे हो। शहीदों का दमन कर रहे हो। अरे कुर्सी मंगाना बलराम जी। अभी मंगाई। उधर बैठेंगे, आगे सब आगे बैठेंगे। कुत्तो ऐसा लैंड ऑर्डर मैटर होता है साले तुर्को।
डॉक्टर किरोड़ी मीणा इस वक्त सामोद थाने के बाहर है, उन्हें रोकने की कवायद, पूरा पुलिस का जाब्ता है यहाँ पर। डॉक्टर साहब क्या रोका जा रहा है?
तो इनसे पूछो ना बेवकूफों से, खैरात के क्रूर नेताओं से, इन क्रूर पुलिस से पूछो। सर आप ये क्रूर पुलिस से पूछो। सम्मानीय सर, सम्मानीय 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 कैसे किया जाता है? सम्मानीय के साथ धक्का मुक्की की जाती है। सम्मानीय के साथ धक्का मुक्की की जाती है। तुमको शर्म आनी चाहिए। धक्का मुक्की नहीं कर रहे। धक्का मुक्की कौन करेगा? आपकी कैसी बात है? धक्का मुक्की और क्या हो रहा है? अत्याचार है। हेलो 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 बलराम जी, कुर्सी लाओ, कुर्सी लाओ। एक बार शांति से। अरे उदय सिंह जी,
डॉक्टर साहब ये बीच रास्ते नहीं रोक।
मैं सामोद बालाजी के दर्शन करने के लिए जा रहा हूँ। सामोद बालाजी के दर्शन करने जा रहा हूँ। क्या धर्मेंद्र जी आज सामोद बालाजी के दर्शन करा सकते हो? एक सेकंड, मेरे को, मेरे कार्यकर्ताओं को, मीडिया वालों को, उदय सिंह जी, क्या आप सामोद बालाजी के दर्शन करा सकते हो? मिस्टर बालाराम सामोद हनुमान जी के दर्शन करा सकते हो? माननीय धर्मेंद्र जी से पूछो
सर, क्यों रोका क्या है? क्यों रोका गया है? ये तो बता दीजिए।
एक सांसद को क्यों रोका है बता तो दीजिए। सर रोका जा रहा है,
पुलिस क्यों रोक रही है?
जवाब देना होगा लोकतंत्र में। धर्मेंद्र जी बता, धर्मेंद्र जी बात क्या हुई है? आप उधर कार में नहीं, धर्मेंद्र जी बता तो क्या रोक रहे हैं? क्या सीएम
पुलिस क्यों रोक रही है? सर ये तो बताइए, पुलिस रोक क्यों रही है? रीजन तो बता दीजिए।
आप बात करने दीजिए।
सांसद के साथ
किससे करोगे? बात किससे करोगे? बात किससे करोगे? गहलोत से बात करके जवाब दे दो। गहलोत से बालाराम बात कर लो। उदय सिंह गहलोत से बात कर लो। करने वालों से बात कर लो।
आप बताइए ना, कहाँ क्यों किया जा रहा है? क्यों रोका है? आप ये बता दीजिए। धर्मेंद्र जी हमें रोकने का क्या मिलेगा? अरे बता तो दीजिए।
कुर्सी तो हटा लो। हटा लेंगे।
पानी
ये बैठे तस्वीरें आप देख रहे हैं। आराम से ये देखिए,
इतना गुस्सा कभी नहीं करते आप।
वीरांगना
हमारा हम अपमान कर रहे हो?
नहीं सर,
वीरांगना का अपमान कर रहे हो?
हिमाकत करी
हमारे साथ हाथापाई कर रहे हो?
आपके साथ
हमारे धक्का मुक्का मार रहे हो? हमारे कार्यकर्ताओं को पीट रहे हो? आपका क्या अधिकार है मेरा रास्ता रोकने का? मैं देश के किसी कोने पे जा सकता हूँ। अगर मेरे को कानून में हाथ में लिया तो मेरे को गिरफ्तार करो।
जवाब दो। ये देखिए, ये आक्रोश है। डॉक्टर किरोड़ीलाल मीणा यहाँ पर जाने की कोशिश कर रहे थे, उनको रोका गया था और फिलहाल पानी जब पीने के लिए दिया गया तो वो भी उन्होंने हटा दिया। उन्होंने कहा वीरांगनाओं का अपमान किया जा रहा है। डॉक्टर साहब, वीरांगनाओं का अपमान वाली बात आप 11 दिन से उठा रहे हैं और आज फिर आपको रोक दिया गया।
मेरा ही अपमान कर रहे हैं? ये धर्मेंद्र कर रहा है, ये बालाराम कर रहा है, ये उदय सिंह कर रहा है। नहीं कर रहे तो मेरा रास्ता रोकाओ, रास्ता हटाओ, रास्ता हटाओ।
आपके अपमान की बात सोच ही नहीं सकते।
नहीं हो रहा, पूरा मीडिया आपको कवर कर रहा है। ये डंडा मार रहा है, पता नहीं लगेगा चोटी कहाँ चली गई। टोपी ये कहता है आना सही है, आना सही है। ये
तो सब जाएंगे वहाँ मिलेंगे जाकर?
बिल्कुल नहीं, मेरे को पता नहीं कहाँ है, मैं तो सामोद बालाजी जा रहा हूँ। मेरे को कौन सी वीरांगना का पता है
तो
कहाँ है?
मंदिर जाने से ही क्यों पुलिस ने रोक दिया?
रोक रहे हैं ना, देख लो ना।
क्यों रोक रही है
पूछ लो था इनसे, इनसे पूछो।
कारण बता नहीं रही है पुलिस और आपको रोक लिया गया है।
Well, all right. An enraged Kirori Lal Meena over there wanting to meet the widows. However, he's been stopped by Rajasthan police. Now, moving on. Addressing a post-budget webinar, Prime Minister Modi saluted Nari Shakti and praised the role of women in India's progress. Here's more on what he said.
भारत ने अपने बीते वर्षों के अनुभव को देखते हुए विमेन डेवलपमेंट से विमेन लेड डेवलपमेंट के प्रयासों को वैश्विक मंच पर भी ले जाने का प्रयास किया है। इस बार भारत की अध्यक्षता में हो रही G20 की बैठकों में भी ये विषय प्रमुखता से छाया हुआ है। इस वर्ष का बजट भी विमेन लेड डेवलपमेंट के इन प्रयासों को नई गति देगा और इसमें आप सभी की बहुत बड़ी भूमिका है। मैं इस बजट वेबिनार में आप सभी का स्वागत करता हूं। साथियों, नारी शक्ति की संकल्प शक्ति, इच्छा शक्ति, उनकी कल्पना शक्ति, उनकी निर्णय शक्ति, त्वरित फैसले लेने का उनका सामर्थ्य निर्धारित लक्ष्यों को प्राप्त करने के लिए उनकी तपस्या, उनके परिश्रम की पराकाष्ठा, ये हमारी मातृशक्ति की पहचान है। ये एक प्रतिबिंब है। जब हम विमेन लेड डेवलपमेंट कहते हैं तब उसका आधार यही शक्तियां हैं। मां भारती का उज्जवल भविष्य सुनिश्चित करने में नारी शक्ति का यह सामर्थ्य भारत की अनमोल शक्ति है।
Now, the BRS leader K. Kavitha is on a day-long hunger strike in the national capital to press for the passage of the Women's Reservation Bill. Earlier, K. Kavitha said that the bill had been lying in cold storage since 2010 and the Modi government had a historic opportunity to get it passed in Parliament before 2024. So far, 18 parties, including the CPIM and the Shiva Sena, have confirmed their participation. Let's go across live to Harsha, who's reporting from the national capital. Now, Harsha, we are seeing, of course, a large number of protesters who are gathered there to ask for the passage of the Women's Reservation Bill. K. Kavitha leading that. So tell us what's happening around you.
Exactly, Nupur. Now we'll like to show you the visuals from Jantar Mantar as more opposition party leaders have joined K. Kavitha in her hunger strike protest. In front of me on stage, you can see Naresh Gujral from Akali Dal, Shiromani Akali Dal, have joined and supported this hunger strike and protest which is being led by K. Kavitha. We are also seeing Sanjay Singh will come this side, and I'll ask my camera person Mahinder to show you the visuals of Sanjay Singh as Aam Aadmi Party has also extended its support to this hunger strike which is going on right now in Jantar Mantar. So till now, Nupur, we are seeing that almost 6 opposition parties have joined this protest, this hunger strike along with K. Kavitha, BRS, but till now there's been no representative from the side of Congress, and what we're learning is that Congress has skipped this hunger strike and protest as they don't align with BRS, with MLC K. Kavitha on her protest on the demand of women reservation bill. Also, Nupur, K. Kavitha has continuously been stating that right now the representation of women in parliament and law-making bodies is very marginal, which is the deficit or of our democracy. And right now, gender quota is very important. It's needed. Right now, while you are watching Republic TV, it's time for a short break. We'll slip into a short break, and now the other side of the break, we'll give you more visuals and breaking from Jantar Mantar on the hunger strike which is being led by BRS MLC K. Kavitha. Stay tuned with us.
आजकल रिलेशनशिप में घुसना आसान, उसमें से निकलना मुश्किल।
इसलिए झूठ बोल के पकड़वाना नहीं है, बल्कि झूठ बोल के सच में छुपाना है, फिर दो और झूठों में छुपाना है, फिर सच में छुपा के उस सच में झूठ की मिलावट का हल्का सा हिंट देना है। वो लड़की है, बाकी वो खुद कर लेगी।
11,000 placements last year. At Amity, we are committed to nurturing passionate, hardworking and proactive professionals.
DRS leader Kavitha, who is facing the Enforcement Directorate's heat in the Delhi liquor policy case, is going to undertake a one-day hunger strike at Jantar Mantar on March 10th. This is in order to table the Women's Reservation Bill in the current session of Parliament. The rally will include participation from a number of opposition parties and women's organizations. Addressing the media, Kavitha, the daughter of Telangana Chief Minister Kejriwal Rao, said the bill has been lying in cold storage since 2010 and Modi government has a historic opportunity to get it passed in Parliament before 2024.
Seen many nations which have given reservations to women in political platforms and national parliaments have made tremendous strides in terms of overall development of the nation. So now the point being, since the time I was in parliament, every Women's Day we would get an opportunity to speak, and every time inside and outside the parliament, wherever I got the chance, I've constantly raised the issue of women's reservation bill. Why? I'll tell you. Because in this country from 1996, the issue has actually started, the discussion has started. From then till 2014, every Prime Minister had made an effort to bring the bill.
So far, 18 parties, including the CPIM and the Shiv Sena, have confirmed their participation.
My party has passed a resolution in the assembly, not now, in between 2014 and 19, I think it is in 2016, they have passed a resolution in the assembly saying whenever a women reservation bill is tabled in the parliament, BRS will stand by the government. So we will do it, and I am saying Modi ji had promised not incremental growth, mind you, has promised exponential growth. If Honorable Modi ji wants it, he can pass the bill and there will be 180 women MPs, doesn't matter whichever party, in the parliament in 2024. That is the strength today BJP has, and they should utilize it for the greater good of the women. That is my sincere appeal.
CPIM leader Sitaram Yechury will inaugurate the program at 10 a.m. Kavitha said Prime Minister Narendra Modi had promised in both 2014 and 2019 Lok Sabha polls that his government would bring this bill and that it was also part of the BJP's election manifesto. She also added that none of the BJP leaders raised this issue and the Modi government has failed to get this bill passed in Parliament despite having a majority. The bill, which seeks to reserve 33% seats in Lok Sabha and all state legislative assemblies for women, was introduced in the Rajya Sabha in May 2008 and was referred to a standing committee. In 2010, it was passed in the House and transmitted finally to the Lok Sabha. However, the bill ended up getting lapsed with the 15th Lok Sabha.
आप इंडिया आते हैं and then you start special forces, NSG, गरुड़, मार्कोस, किस तरीके से ये सफर शुरू हुआ स्पेशल फोर्सेस को ट्रेन करने?
कर्नल साहब, तो he was at that time CEO of 6AR और पहली अपॉर्चुनिटी उन्होंने मुझे दी.
अच्छा.
To train his regiment and he asked me कि आप इनको knife to knife combat में खुकरी ट्रेन करो. जब मैंने ADG इन्फेंट्री के सामने वो डेमो दिया और उनको वो बहुत अलग लिखा. As long as our soldiers are safe, they get the best, I have no problem.
Days after the Karnataka corruption wing recovered the cash dash of more than rupees 8 crore from BJP MLA's son, the Lokayukta grilled the prime bribe gate accused and BJP MLA Madal Virupakshapa for over 5 hours on Thursday. Republic confronted the BJP MLA yesterday.
Sir, Lokayukta ಮುಂದೆ ಇವಾಗಲೇ ಅಪಿಯರ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ? Sir, are you appearing before the Lokayukta? Sir, where were you all these days? Sir, Sir, where were you all these days? Mr. Madal, where were you? Mr. Madal, where were you? Mr. Madal.
On being asked about his whereabouts on the same day, the bribe gate exploded.
आप इंडिया आते हैं and then you start special forces, NSG, गरुड़, मार्कोस. किस तरीके से ये सफर शुरू हुआ स्पेशल फोर्सेस को ट्रेन
कर्नल साहब तो ही वॉज एट दैट टाइम CEO of 6AR और पहली अपॉर्चुनिटी उन्होंने मुझे दी.
अच्छा.
टू ट्रेन हिज रेजिमेंट एंड ही आस्क्ड मी कि आप इनको नाइफ टू नाइफ कॉम्बैट में खुकरी ट्रेन करो. जब मैंने ADG इन्फेंट्री के सामने वो डेमो दिया और उनको वो बहुत अलग लिखा. एज लॉन्ग एज आवर सोल्जर्स आर सेफ, दे गेट द बेस्ट, आई हैव नो प्रॉब्लम.
Big stir over women's reservation bill. 18 opposition parties joined Kavitha's hunger strike. Congress likely to skip. Trouble mounts for Kejriwal's deputy. ED seeks 10 days remand. Sisodia to be produced in court at 2 p.m. today. Government exposes Western media propaganda, says New York Times peddling lies against Modi government. Gehlot's cops hit a new low. Widows of Pulwama martyrs demanding compensation. Detailed. ED News tightens in land for job scam after Lalu's close aid raided. ED team now at Tejashwi residence. Australian Prime Minister holds bilateral talks with Prime Minister Modi, hails India-Australia ties. And in a record win, Xi Jinping has been elected as China's president for a third time. Very good afternoon and thank you for tuning in. You're watching live and breaking at 12:30. I'm Suesha Sound. We get to all the top stories we are tracking for you this afternoon. But first up, some breaking news coming in from the poll-bound state of Karnataka, where the BJP has released a list of election campaign committee and election management committee for the upcoming polls in Karnataka. V. Somanna's name is missing from both the campaign and the management committee. This is the latest that is just coming in, and Prajwal will join us shortly to give us further details on the same. Let me also tell you how Yediyurappa has been announced a member of BJP's campaign committee. This as the party is bracing for the polls in Karnataka. Let me cut across to my colleague Prajwal, who's joining us on the broadcast. Prajwal, firstly, details of who all have been included, and most importantly, V. Somanna's name that is missing. Why is it that the party has decided this?
Suesha, firstly, mainly when we are speaking about the inclusions, we are seeing that 9 state cabinet ministers have already been included. Prominent among them are Dr. K. Sudhakar and Revenue Minister R. Ashoka, Dr. C. N. Ashwath Narayan. Ashwath Narayan's name also features in the election management company as well. And what is very interesting to see here is the fact that there were talks that P.Y. Vijayendra was being sidelined by the BJP party in the state of Karnataka. But then there is a strong message out by the BJP High Command stating that both B.S. Yediyurappa as well as Vijayendra will be accommodated, and a testimony to that is the list of names which are featuring on the election campaign committee here. B.Y. Vijayendra's name also features here. So both the father and the son duo are there. They are in the thick of things in Karnataka. And this is a strong message out to everybody there, stating that B.S. Yediyurappa will be helming the state of affairs in the upcoming polls for the BJP, along with Baswaraj Bommai. And apart from which, now what is very interesting over here in the management...
Now, what is very interesting over here in the management committee is that majority of them in the management committee are union ministers. We are speaking about Shobha Karandlaje, Prahlad Joshi and Bhagwant Khooba as well. So all said and done now, they seem to have charted out as short-term goals, long-term goals as well. And B.S. Yediyurappa has been tasked with touring the entire state of Karnataka, and he's been doing so in the Vijay Sankalpa Yatra as well. But on the other hand, if you're looking at it, we also saw that the names of S.T. Somsekhar and Dr. K. Sudhakar, who were first with the Congress and then they were inducted into the BJP and made ministers. But now their own party person, V. Somanna's name has also been missing, which is very interesting at this point of time, because he's the housing minister. He also hails from the prominent Lingayat community, and he's considered to be somebody who is very close to B.S. Yediyurappa as well, who hails from the same community. But all said and done, his name is missing as well. And the move of V. Somanna has created a lot of ripples in the political circles, mainly because he chooses to absent himself from two main rallies of the Vijay Sankalpa Yatra, where JP Nadda, the BJP national president, was there, and this has been noticed. And apart from which, he also had a war of words with the revenue minister R. Ashoka recently during the Vijay Sankalpa Yatra, which was passing through his constituency of Govindraj Nagar and then moving towards Padmanabh Nagar assembly constituency, and both of them were at loggerheads as well. So looking into the chain of events now, there were talks that V. Somanna would be quitting the BJP party, but then B.S. Yediyurappa dismissed this, calling them rumours, and stated that as soon as he is in Bengaluru, he will have a talk with V. Somanna. V. Somanna in fact spoke to Republic and stated that he is like a flowing water, and this is a hint stating that he will not remain in one party, because we'll also have to remember that Somanna was previously in the Janata Dal, then he shifted to Congress, and B.S. Yediyurappa was responsible for bringing V. Somanna into the BJP. In 2013, he did not win against Priya Krishna, but in 2018, he emerged victorious against Priya Krishna by a huge margin as well, and that turned out favors for V. Somanna, and he's also been given the important task of handling Chamrajnagar. He's been made the district in charge minister, but so far he was not seen in Chamrajnagar as well. And now Somanna's followers hold a closed door meeting in Mysuru, and they have stated that they will go along with him, they will move along with him to any party which he joins. So the next move of V. Somanna is something which everybody will be watching out for, but he still maintains that he holds no sort of grudges against the party and will work for the party as well. But all said and done, will he do that or not in the coming days, that has to be seen, Suesha.
Absolutely, Prajwal, and that is a slightly sticky situation for the BJP right now, because buzz is that two BJP leaders could be moving out of the party and joining the Congress. Of course, Yediyurappa completely rubbishing this statement, but what really is the inside story, Prajwal? And if this really is the truth and Somanna is not on his way out, could there be further repercussions for him given the dissent?
Absolutely. That is a message out there, because even when this campaign committee and the management committee for the BJP's list of campaigners were chosen, this was done particularly with JP Nadda, who had a discussion with B.S. Yediyurappa and Baswaraj Bommai as well, and the co-election in charges were also present, Dharmendra Pradhan, Mansukh Mandaviya and K. Annamalai as well, and all of them sitting together along with the top leaders of the BJP in the state of Karnataka have already taken this collective decision as well, because yesterday in Bengaluru we saw a massive response for the BJP national president's rally, Mr. JP Nadda's rally, and prominent among the invitees was the names of V. Somanna on the invitation as well. But he chose to absent himself, and when we also posed this question to V. Somanna today, asking why he was not there, he stated that he belongs only to the constituency and the people of the constituency. So this was his only response as well, and this is something which needs to be watched out. The other minister that you are speaking about here, Suesha, is he's a known he jumps from parties to parties, because Narayan Gowda, who we are speaking, who is from the KRPT Assembly constituency, is also a minister in the present cabinet, had gone on to state that he might be joining he might be joining any other political party, but that needs to be understood and questions need to be asked over here as well.
All right, Prajwal, keeping a track of what is happening in Karnataka ahead of the polls, which obviously every party is bracing for, but the strategy really that the BJP is now going to chalk out, given who are the men on their side and who are the strong faces they will be pitching with. I'll keep coming back to you for more on this. For the moment, we move on. Meanwhile, the BJP is staging a protest against the Aam Aadmi Party in the national capital. Enforcement Directorate is now seeking a 10-day remand of Kejriwal's deputy, that is Manish Sisodia, after questioning him in Tihar jail. This obviously comes after how Sisodia was arrested yesterday at 6:20 p.m. in connection to Delhi government's now scrapped excise policy, and now the BJP once again upping the ante against the Aam Aadmi Party over corruption charges. This is the next report.
This is Aam Aadmi Party versus Bharatiya Janata Party, what we are seeing on the ground. But at this point in time, you can clearly see this is Bharatiya Janata Party protesting against Aam Aadmi Party and Arvind Kejriwal. So this is a different kind of and unique kind of protest that is going on at the ITO of the national capital. There you can see this is the replica, a model of Arvind Kejriwal's residence, which has been built up over here, and they are showing that Arvind Kejriwal is standing inside with a mask. A man is standing inside, and they are having slippers in their hand. So that's the kind of unique protest what we are seeing from the ITO of the national capital, and Bharatiya Janata Party is at this point in time is protesting here at the ITO. Let me also give you a sense. On one side, this is a replica, the model of a house of Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal, whereas on the left hand side, let me ask my video journalist to go that side also. You can see this is the replica of Tihar jail. This is the model of Tihar jail which has been built up over here, and there two men are sitting inside, one with the mask of Manish Sisodia, one with the mask of Satyen Jain, another minister. So you can clearly see this is something what we are seeing from the ground. This is a unique kind of protest of Bharatiya Janata Party from the ITO of the national capital. There you can see this is a replica, a model of Tihar jail. This is a cell which has been built by Bharatiya Janata Party, and they are showing that Satyen Jain is inside. On my left there is another cell. There is another model of jail, and there you can see this is Manish Sisodia, what they are trying to portray. This is Manish Sisodia, the former Deputy Chief Minister, who is lodged inside the jail. So that's the unique kind of protest what we are seeing from the national capital, from the ITO of the national capital. So the demand is very much clear that Bharatiya Janata Party is demanding that Arvind Kejriwal, the Chief Minister of Delhi, should also give the resignation. And they are saying that Arvind Kejriwal, the Chief Minister of Delhi, is the mastermind if we talk about this particular scam. And they are saying that this is not limited to liquor policy or the liquor scam, but education scam and many other scam is there, and the kingpin is Arvind Kejriwal. That's something what has been stated by Bharatiya Janata Party.
तो राजस्थान सरकार पीछे हट रही है। पीछे ही नहीं, बल्कि राजस्थान में कांग्रेस के जो मुख्यमंत्री हैं वो इन परिवारों से मिलने से ही मना कर रहे हैं। कई दिनों से वीरांगनाएं धरना देकर बैठी हुई हैं, उनके ऊपर लाठीचार्ज हुआ, उन्हें पिने चुबाई गई, उनके साथ बदसलूकी हुई, सड़कों पर घसीटा गया, और कल रात को 3 बजे उन्हें उठाकर पुलिस स्टेशन ले जाया गया। आखिर ऐसा क्या मांग रही हैं वीरांगनाएं, और ऐसी क्या बात है कि राजस्थान सरकार के मुख्यमंत्री उनसे मिलने से मना कर रहे हैं? राजस्थान के मुख्यमंत्री को ऐसा क्या डर है, क्या भय है उनको इन वीरांगनाओं से, इन बलिदान परिवारों से? मैं आपको एक वीडियो दिखाता हूं, और उस वीडियो के बाद में बाकी पूरी बातें विस्तार से मैं करूंगा। यह वीडियो है जब पुलवामा के बलिदानी रोहिताश लांबा की अंत्येष्टि हो रही है, और मुख्यमंत्री द्वारा भेजे गए मंत्री वहां पर वादे कर रहे हैं।
लाइट ऑफ करिए सामने।
All right, that's the video that is being shown at the BJP news conference right now, which will just resume. Let's listen in.